everybody, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12-ish FPS. Um, More of a mini game, really. But also it's small. There's only two of us. It's just the two of us.
Just the
And who
two of
would the
us.
other? Yeah.
We can make it if we try. It's me, it's you. And I'm very excited to play again with Trad, the you. Because I
That
just
is me. Who are you?
I am the Jew, and I'm gonna be playing Nanny because this is part two of Nanny Your Business. You should probably watch that for context as to what the heck is
Or
going on
don't.
here. Um
Or don't. I'm not your nanny. Um,
I am. I'm the responsible nanny figure of this FPS, which bodes well. Um,
sure, sweetheart.
don't.
Um, I
Do not. Don't you fucking even start with me. Don't you fucking even start. Don't make me give Nanny a Boston accent. I'll do it.
That's Foggy's back. Foggy's back in the boathouse.
Yes.
All right. Um, I am traditional preference, also known as trad. And I will be playing ULTRABRAIN. If that wasn't clear enough yet already, if you're watching with no context, that might not have been clear. So you know. Anyway.
Anyway.
Uh, last episode, last time, earlier this morning, because it is late in the evening now. Earlier this morning, while Nanny was out and about for groceries, had a little conversation, found a couple resident semi-transient villains, um, and in order to get the knife that Foggy stabbed ULTRABRAIN with back, not Minion, Nanny has agreed to do something tonight. What would
Yes.
that? What's Nanny doing? What's
Nanny.
Nanny's late night plans?
Nanny. Nanny has no plans. Nanny has no plans, but she's being dragged along into plans by this absolute rapscallion. Um, she has to help them commit le gasp, a crime. Dun dun dun. And her stipulation was kids can't find out because she is an upright moral compass for those children, and she cannot be compromised. I will not be
So
compromised.
Minion's
You understand me?
babysitting.
Hmm?
So Minion's babysitting.
Yeah,
I'm sure that will go fine.
absolutely,
Uh, they've
absolutely.
taken the Toonkind Red Cross babysitters training course. They got their card and everything. Um,
I just imagine Minion pulls out
um,
a wallet and it's just like a rolling list of all their qualifications. Some of them are
oh,
forged, most of them
it's
are legit.
there's so many. There's some that don't even seem like real, but those are the ones that are actually legit. Um,
The faker they look, the more real
so
they are.
yeah, exactly. Uh, there's like a qualified like pogo stick instructor in there somewhere, and you're not quite sure when or where, but um, Nanny definitely had the opportunity to be very impressed with Minion's multiple qualifications.
Hmm.
Um,
This is
Ultra Ray, on the other hand, has given you nothing.
of course. Ultra Brain owes Nanny
um,
nothing.
Nothing,
Absolutely nothing.
nothing at all.
Not even an apology.
Um,
Never. Not at all.
no, no apologies, no, thank you. Um,
Apologies more like allergies.
Apologies, more like allergies. You're so witty. Okay,
No.
gosh, let's actually get down to business to defeat the Huns.
Yes.
Um, so yes, as we open, finally our scene, uh, the door of the boathouse is closing. Minions waving as the two other adults, um, are on the other side of the door. Um, and the door shuts. And Nanny You are alone with Ultra Brain.
Gosh, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna, I'm gonna roll something. Actually, no, I won't roll the shit.
Okay.
Won't roll the shit.
No. Okay.
She's just gonna kind of just huff, give a big sigh. The little sigh cloud comes out of her mouth, brushes down her skirt, look over at Ultra Brain with a very, very put upon expression. Well, all right. The kids are all sorted out, and Minion, I trust Minion to take the best care of them that they can. So, well then, and she claps hands together. Well then, Ultra Brain, I believe that's your name at least. Yes, Ultra Brain. What exactly is tonight gonna involve?
We're robbing a bank.
Well, of course we're robbing a. Well, of course we're doing that tonight. And she kind of glances over her shoulder at the door and up at the broken window. I think if we're going to talk about this a little more, maybe we should shuffle along. And she just kind of makes shooing motions with her hands and tries to scoot you away.
All right. Don't need to be so bossy.
I'm not
Yeah,
being bossy. I don't want the kids to overhear. You understand?
you're being a little bossy.
I'm not being bossy at all. And she's just scooching you away.
Sure, sweetheart. Anyway, yes, we're robbing a bank.
All right. They kind of probably make their way away from the riverfront, more towards the
Yeah.
inner parts of town. All right,
Hmm.
so we're doing that, and she does give a quick side eye around town, making sure no one is listening. It kind of leans in a bit more towards Ultra Brain. So, what exactly are your plans for this then? Are you going to fill me in on this sort of unscrupulous dealings, or are you just going to leave me flying blind here?
I mean, there's really like it's this. Hmm. Ultra Brain just gives her a look like. All right.
I don't like that cackle. Bit of a cackle.
um. It's like, all right. So my plan originally, our plan was for Minion and I to get to the bank, decide how to rob it, and then do that. Minion, however, is not here anymore. So you are going to be robbing the bank with me. Um, we didn't really have a direct like set plan. We got some layouts. We got some some basic information. The bank that we were planning to rob actually is back in Toontown. But you see the uh the box companies banks, they're all kind of a little bit copy and paste, you will, saving budgets, that sort of thing. Um, they're all built to the same plan, more or less. This one's actually likely to be even easier to get into since it's not in Toontown where stuff happens. Um, but yeah, honestly, we were just going to wing it. It's not something that requires so much planning.
Okay, Ultra Brain. Nanny's just
Mm-hmm.
giving you a flat stare. You mean to tell me that you're just gonna go ahead and rob a bank with no plan? None? Just because you assume it's gonna be copy paste? You don't know what else they got in there. They might have something special and fancy, or something maybe not exactly legislation, if you know what I mean. They could do anything in there, especially if it's one of them quiet little setups. Quiet little setups like
Mm-hmm.
that, sometimes they change things under the books and don't tell their superiors. You're just gonna go in
Mm-hmm.
there with no plan?
Yeah, pretty much.
This woman is looking at you, Ultra Brain. You don't roll insight. She's just exasperated and just, all right then, we're doing our bank robbery and we got no plan. Alrighty, and she just Claps, hands together. I'm gonna roll always say for her. Come on, sweetie. You can do it. I believe in you. What's the +4? 19. Yeah, no, she's like chipper, keeping it together. Very positive. All right then. I guess first things first. Well, I can't exactly go in there looking like this, and she gestures down. Just in case somebody recognizes me. Well, it's rather obvious who I be. Not many toons change their clothes very often, after all. So, I think this calls. Well, I think this calls for a bit of a disguising going on.
Yeah, your whole. You could use some work. If Minion were here, they'd. It'd be so much better. But, yeah, I suppose. You did say you didn't want to be recognized or whatever, not let the kids find out, but honestly, it's probably for the. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, you want to, like shopping. That's what it's called? Shopping. We
Yes.
can go get you a disguise, or do you? I'm assuming you don't have disguise self, since that would be
Hmm.
prudent.
Well, let me just have a quick think about this. And she just does have a quick hmm. Just scratches underneath her chin. Is like, no, unfortunately, I don't actually have many spells. You see, I'm a monk. I don't cast many spells that way. The only thing I got is well, I won't cast them
Your
now, just in
fists,
case we
I'm well aware. Um,
just sends you a quick
I
glare.
yeah, your fists. I'm well aware. Um, well, I mean, it depends on how much time you want to spend on this. The more time we go off shopping, the less time we have to, scope out the bank before it closes, or um, you know, the more time someone could see us walking around, see you shopping, see you picking out stuff. I mean, by toon rules, technically, you could just Ultra Brain picks a flower out of like just a random planter like off of someone like off a porch or something. It's like honest technically you could probably like put this in your hair and then it'd be like, "Oh, that's not me. I'm Nanny without a flower." And then everyone would be like, "Oh, that makes sense. It's not, you definitely wouldn't just put a flower in your hair for crime purposes. That would be a totally different person." Um, you could do that.
Nanny's just gonna tilt her head to the side. I'm just gonna roll this. Then let's
Do
see what we
not
get.
underestimate the power of a simple disguise.
She tilts her head to the side
Minion
and
gets away with it all the time.
she slowly nods and holds her hand up for the flower.
Oh my gosh! Alright. Ultra Brain, uh, hands her the flower.
She
It's
take
a flower.
she takes the flower. She turns around, walks back to where you took it from the planter, and she gently puts it back in the spot you took it from, and just covers it up very gently, pats it down, and then bonks it on its little petals, and just you hear like a little tee come from the flower, and a little there you go, sweetie. I'm very sorry that that awful little creature over there decided to pluck you out from your bed. Nice and tucked up now, aren't you? Just taps the soil, turns back around, walks towards Ultravein, and gives him a happy, cheery little smile. Well, now I think it would be far safer if I'd got at least, well, perhaps a different change of clothes, maybe a different hat or something. I understand where you're coming from with the whole toon disguises. Of course, I am a toon. However, I think I'd at least need to change this. She taps her hat, and perhaps this, and looks at her dress. Anything more detailed, I think. Well, again, as you said, that'd probably take too much time, and I want to get this thing done and over with as close as I can.
Ultra Brain looks like Xe's like when Xe took the flower and like put it back in the flander
Uh
and
huh.
put it back and like walked back. Ultra Brain looks like this is the funniest thing Xe has ever seen.
I am.
You
I'm
are
just sitting
such
here.
a strange creature. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be so much fun. Um
Oh gosh.
Yes, well, whatever you want to do, sweetheart. I'm sure there's perhaps some sort of thrift store. Or do you want to go department store shopping, thrift store shopping? Maybe there's a yard sale, a very narratively convenient yard sale. We could frame whoever lives at the house and say they did it. If there's a yard sale, that might be fun. And Ultra
That
Brain's just talking
at that
while they're
you're
walking.
just gonna get a glare. You could get a glare from this woman. She says, "We are not blaming no thievery, and we ain't doing no thievery either. We are paying for what we take, but I guess thrift
We're
store would
literally
probably be
robbing a
best."
bank. I'm not going to pay them for what I robbed them from the bank.
Well, no, fine. I'll pay for the things from the thrift store, and yeah, we'll just go to the thrift store. It's cheaper there, and you won't have to steal anything with your grubby little mitts. And looks down at your grubby little mitts, and just kind of slots off.
Ultra Brain just catty little smile and wiggles her hands at her.
I'm just gonna roll another with safe. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, Nanny. No, she doesn't. Glares at your hand, and she just kind of sticks her non-existent nose in the air and just kind of puffs forward towards the closest thrift shop, which I'm gonna roll for her to find with advantage because I feel like thrift stores are something she would frequent. She has many children to clothe.
Yeah.
Okay, let me roll that again. Why did that not roll properly? Oh, it was the wrong thing. That makes sense. Well, that was an 8. That's a 22. I'm gonna take the 22. I don't suppose Ultra Brain has.
Ultra Brain's rolling just to find anything.
I mean,
While Nanny's shopping, Ultra Brain is just like futzing.
Ultra Brain probably just wanders, looks around the surrounding area. There's like a small cafe nearby with people eating their late afternoon snacks of cake and tea and stuff. There's probably a bookstore across the road, and then there is another shop. But this is like one of those really fancy, like it's weird to see it in a small town, but it's like one of those boutique shops, like real fancy threads, made by special designers. Like this isn't stuff that you can just get at a department store.
I think I think Ultra Brain kind of peers around disinterestedly and follows Nanny into the shop um, to heckle her
Oh
clothes buying choices.
my gosh. Can't believe you're like this, except I absolutely can believe you're like this. Okay.
He also like for honestly, Xi like browse like uh scoots by like knickknacks and like toys and stuff like that. Um, would you say is there anything that Xi finds or?
I mean, you probably find like one of those paddling ping pong paddles, with the ball attached that you can go doing, 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 doing.
Oh my gosh.
You could probably find like an old teddy bear, like it. It's been cleaned up as best as the shop can, but there's like a couple of little rips in it. It's probably like what I think. It's probably like a little octopus. It's missing one of its eyes. There's like a little cross stitch where its eye is supposed to be. It's got a little happy smile. Man, there's like a plastic bucket and a spade. There's just, I mean, whatever you want to be on this shelf will probably be in here. It's a thrift store, man. All sorts of weird stuff ends up in there.
um. He absolutely picks up the paddle and starts paddling it because it is incredibly obnoxious.
Just imagine he starts paddling it, And then they start to slowly do it closer and closer to the side of Nanny's face as she's trying to look at clothes. It's just like Nanny's peering down at clothes in the back of the frame. It's just.
Um, Z is I think Z is actually holding like Z actually did grab the octopus plus just because that's fun.
Why not?
Just has it,
Um,
looking it over. No, Z has it like in one hand and is doing the paddle in the other, like next to Nanny, and is like, that color's gonna look awful on you.
oh my gosh, she's doing really well. She doesn't seem to notice you at all, Ultra Brain. I mean, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Your insight modifier is a minus, isn't it? Yeah, never mind. You don't have to. You can't roll for this. Yeah, no, she's just. She doesn't seem to mind you at all. Ping ponging that by her ear, or she's just nodding her head and said, "Well, the point isn't for it to look good on me. It's the point is that nobody recognizes it is me while I'm wearing it. So I'd have to say this is probably I mean, the more outlandish and garish it is, then once I'm done with it, I can probably make something else out of it. Tear it up and maybe make some curtains, a little handkerchief." And she starts going on about what she can make with these really nice. No, not nice. They're ugly. They're really awful. It's like a tropical Hawaiian shirt that went through a tie-dye blender. And probably like she's probably actually got like go-go pants too, like real
Incredible.
big uns.
Uh-huh.
Like the poofy kind that like
Mm-hmm.
just go out and down. It's got like those psychedelic swirls on it. She nods her head, puts them over her arm, and said, "Right, well, those are the clothes. I just need to find myself a hat." And she's gonna look over at
Are
you and
you
then look
sure
down
you
at your
don't want to
octopus.
consider looking evil?
Well, I think what would be more convincing instead of looking evil, because I'm not evil. She makes a pointed glare at you. I'm not evil, sweetie. I am simply doing what I gotta do to get something done. And she kind of sees the octopus in your arm and just kind of blinks and looks up at you and says, "Did you want that? Because I can buy that for you if you'd like." And she
Oh,
just,
I'm taking it. Yeah.
"Oh no, you're not taking that, sweetie." And she reaches over and tries to take the octopus from you. If you want
Oh,
it, I can just buy it
oh.
for you.
Bye.
You gotta try and hold it away
Oh,
from
that's that thing that Minion and I were trying out once with that hmm.
I don't want
Yeah, sure.
insight to see if you're being a facetious little shit.
Oh no. 20?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. No, that's legit.
Oh, Nanny's gonna stop. She's initially gonna glare at Ultra Brain for like, don't be facetious with me, and then she stops and she just blinks a couple times and then pulls her hand
Fuck,
back
fuck,
and
fuck,
does
fuck,
the
fuck, 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 fuck.
prayer
Ultra
pose.
whole time, still using the paddleboard, just to make that clear in the background. It
Oh
is
no,
constant.
absolutely. The paddle is inherently a part of this scene.
Is inherent to the scene.
Absolutely, adds the ambiance. Um,
Uh-huh.
she just prayer poses, looks, just straight up looks Ultra Brain dead in the eye and says, "All right, uh, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take those." She points to the ping pong paddle, and the octopus, and says, "I'm gonna take those. I'm gonna buy them for you, and then you're gonna put them in your hammer space, and then I don't want to see them until the end of this little shindig we got going on. Understood? You don't have to take them. I can buy them for you."
All right, fine. But I get to pick the hat.
She pauses, and then just, "All right, you can pick the hat so long as it doesn't look like this one. The whole point is for me to be disguised, understood?"
Oh hell yeah!
God,
Ultra Brain, Ultra Brain hands her the paddle and the octopus, and goes over to the hats.
she takes it feeling like she's signed a deal with the devil, but hey, you know what? It's not being stolen. It's a win. No matter what happens after this is a win.
You can keep telling yourself that, sweetie.
Wow. Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, Ultra Brain's left you. Ultra Brain's going to wherever the hats are kept.
Okay. She is gonna man. What's she gonna do? I feel like she's gonna roll a perception to see if she can keep an eye on Ultra Brain because she has a thought of, wait a second, shouldn't let this guy go off by himself. I know what his sticky fingers are like, so she is gonna try and keep an eye on him while she's at the till paying, and that's a 10. It's a 10.
Yeah. I think you can kind of tell where Z is.
Mm. You can kind of tell where Z is, but can't tell if they're doing anything with their hands or not. They just seem to be looking around, probably just looking along the racks.
Yeah, no, they're looking at the hats. Or maybe occasionally picking one up and like flipping it over or turning it inside out. There's this is a Toon. This is a Toon thrift store. You see a lot of interesting hats.
She's not looking at the hats. She's not looking at the hats.
Ultra Brain's looking at the hats. There's an awful lot.
She's
There's
looking. She's looking at Ultra Brain's hands, not at the hats. She's looking at Ultra Brain's hands as she. I'm gonna have to make a reach into her hammer space to pay. Yeah, she just slowly reaches in her hammer space, takes out a whole, like, it's a lot of copper, and she starts slowly putting like copper coins on the table. She has like 2 silver maybe, but she's got no exact gold. It's just lots of old copper and some silver as she starts slowly playing the clerk.
Oh my gosh.
Look, she has lots of kids, okay? She's gotta do what she gotta do to keep her money tight. But yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm torn between hats now that I get to pick a hat to put this poor woman in.
Oh, choose your hat wisely. You only get one.
I know. I'm not sure if Ultra Brain would go for like. I'm not sure which one Ultra Brain would go for.
I mean,
there's so many good options.
Go with your gut. This is a suggestion. Would Ultra Brain try to stuff many hats inside of one of the largest hats and then pass it off as just one hat? If that makes sense.
Think so. Yeah, I do get what you're saying. I don't think Z would. Z's yeah, because like Z's not necessarily focused on like, let's just get a bunch of hats. Z's like, oh, I get to put a hat on this woman and she has to live with it.
Take your time, Trad. The hats are important.
The hat is very important. You know what? I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go. See, I'm stuck between like, you know, like the really cheap, like ugly, like plastic, like,
oh my god,
ones that you get like for like party favors and stuff.
Oh my god. Oh my god, the cone hats?
Oh, not the cone hats. I mean like here actually. I'm literally looking up funny and ugly hats right now.
God. This is what the FPS is, my dude.
This is the most important part of this FPS right now.
This is the most important part. You need to
this
have
is the most important part. I'm talking like stuff like this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. This. Okay.
Or
Let's just have a look quickly. Where am I at? Oh my god. Oh.
or
Oh.
or
Oh.
or this one. You see what my problem is now.
Fucking god! To those of you not, no one is here to see this, but Trad has just posted a fucking amazing photo of a hat that is just, it seems to be knitted or crocheted. It's just a giant fucking apple with a space for someone's face to come through, and that's it.
It's crocheted.
It's crocheted.
It's crocheted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm doing that one. I'm doing that one.
I have a question though. Would it be an apple
yes.
or would it be a different fruit?
Oh, 100% an apple.
Okay.
100% an apple.
Oh,
Yeah. So Ultra Brain walks up to you hear a aha from across the store as you are counting out your pennies and your coppers and your silvers, and like walking like pretty excitedly, Ultra Brain appears out of frame and sets it down. Um, I think Ultra Brain sets it down like just on top of whatever you're doing. It looks like just a giant plush apple at first. But yeah, on closer inspection, you can see there's just enough room to fit your face out of a hole. It's an apple hat. More like a helmet. You don't know.
Alright, give me a second.
You don't know where this came from.
Cool, that's an out one. See,
Out
just
one.
the slow dawning just defeat on her face and outlandish disbelief as she slowly looks up at Ultra Brain and just, you can see the moment in her eyes where she's just like, I have to do this. I can't. I said Z could fit the hat. I said I gave and I've already paid for the items. I can't. She's just gonna.
You gave your word. You gave your word.
Okay, she gave her word. She's just gonna...
Ultra Brain, is just grinning. Oh wait, I mean, the height difference. There's really not a. Yeah, Ultra Brain is just like grinning at you, with just the biggest shit-eating grin, and absolutely just relishing in whatever emotional turmoil you are experiencing.
You don't have to roll an insight with that nat one. There's so much turmoil. Ultra Brain, you have successfully turmoiled this woman. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of yourself. I'm sure you are.
This is all Ultra Brain could have ever wanted.
I'm so glad that Ultra Brain is living their best life right now, right here, now.
She is living.
Nanny's gonna just look down, slowly take the apple hat, and she's just gonna look over at the person at the till and I know this is awfully cheeky of me to ask, but I don't suppose I could get this discounted. And she's gonna try roll persuasion. 18! The person behind the counter is looking at this hat and then looking at the shit-eating grin on Ultra Brain's face, and then slowly looks over at Nanny, who is just devastated. There's some sympathy in that face.
Yeah, you know the expression the person in the apple hat is just making. I'm just imagining that.
My God.
It's just.
Yes.
It's just.
Okay, oh That exact expression. And they just look at Nanny and slowly push back the apple hat. You just take that. That's a freebie. Just take it and just pat it and give her the most solid of looks. I feel like you're gonna need it. Thank you very much. Very much, kind clerk. And she nods her head, picks up all the items, doesn't look at ULTRABRAIN, turns around, and walks out the door. Oh, she also paid for her go-go pants and shirt, by the way. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
ULTRABRAIN. I'm gonna actually roll intimidation.
What?
Not for any like particular reason. ULTRABRAIN just shoots the clerk like a look as they leave. Just still with that grin. That's a 17.
Clerk's just gonna
Intimidation.
freeze up, and then they're just gonna slowly, not looking, open the cash register, take everything out of the cash register, and just slowly back away to the back room. Not like they're walking backwards, they're not taking their eyes off of Yubi, and they're just slowly closing the door.
Yeah. Well, ULTRABRAIN's following Nanny. That's it.
God. Well, congratulations. You intimidated a store clerk enough that they felt the need to take the money out of the till and backwards walk away from you.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Nanny is speed walking away from you as fast as she can. And she's just muttering under her breath. You can roll a perception if you want.
Perception. ULTRABRAIN has a great perception, and by great I mean -2. It's a 7. Yeah.
You catch a couple of phrases of "gosh darn it," and "my word," and just like you get like one word a sentence.
Did you like actually swear, or are you stuck with that like censor bullshit?
I have no need to swear, thank you. There are many other words in the modern and old age dictionary that suit my purposes sufficiently that I do not have to use swear words to get across what I mean to say. And she's just
but they're
strutting
fun.
forward. She turns around, by the way, and she takes the hat off, shoves it underneath her other hat, and then she shoves the octopus and the ping pong paddle at you and says, "You take your things and you do what you want with them, except harass me with them, and hopefully you keep them out of sight and out of mind whilst we're doing this thing." And she kind of looks around and says, "I just need somewhere to change, and then, well, we can get this thing done and over with, all right?"
As Nanny hands ULTRABRAIN like the plush and the paddleboard, there's like a quiet oh shit. Xi did kind of like half forget about that, but is also delighted by it. So yeah, Xi stuffs. Actually, I think to be contrary, Xi puts the paddleboard in hammer space, but keeps the plush out for now, and Anxie says, "Well, whatever you do, don't use a phone booth."
They're just kind of like She looks kind of confused at that. Like, what? I don't understand what exactly you mean by that, but no, I wasn't gonna use a phone booth. I was gonna see if I could find, like, I don't know, a bush or some such, or an alleyway somewhere, not in public eye,
those
at
are
least.
good. Bush, alleyway, those are good. Those are classic. You can also do like behind a roof, like there's the air canyons on tops of roofs. Um,
As you say that, she
you know,
glances up at the museum roof and says, I think I've had enough of roofs for one day.
fine. I guess we're not breaking in through the roof then.
No, you're not breaking through the roof.
There's you can make holes. You
Oh,
can
I'm sure
find
you can make
holes.
holes, but I'd rather leave as little evidence that we have been there as we can.
So you're kind of a more roguish type, All right. I can work with that. We can work with that. We'll meet in the middle, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying out new things. Maybe we'll try it your way. Maybe you could take the lead. But yes.
Oh
However,
no, sirree, I am not leading this expedition of yours. And she's just wiggling one finger and looking around desperately for someone to go. I am not leading this crazy little expedition of yours. You are the quote unquote evil mastermind, and I am not. I am not a bad guy. I am not made to be a bad guy. I am not doing it. You are the one with all the machinations up on that big old noggin of yours. And she reaches up and just knocks on the back of your head with the back of her hand. Just says, so you're going to be the one doing all the thinking and planning. You got more experience with that anyhow. And
as she like knocks ULTRABRAIN on the back of the head, he actually does like not start, but like wasn't expecting that and rubs the back of their head a little bit.
I will say it
like,
wasn't through injury. It was just like knocking on the door.
Oh yeah, no. See, did not expect her to just reach up and just touch her. Yeah. Um. He's like, well, I mean, technically, we're going according to plan. Minion and I were going to kind of co-lead the whole thing, so you're at least, you're at least halfway involved, But yeah, change wherever you like, I guess. There's bush there. You could just do the whole walk behind a corner and then have everything on too. Might even be able to get away with a street lamp. Are you skilled enough for a street lamp?
She's just walking off as you're talking. She just mutters, I'd rather not be involved at all, but I'm not being given much of a choice here. And she just kind of, she looks between the park and then looks between the alleyway and just, well, the alleyway is far less public than the park, so off I go. And she just walks down the alleyway, and I'm gonna
There's
say
a rat.
I'm gonna say she kind of walks down the alleyway and there's like shadows being cast from how late it is. So at
Mm-hmm.
some point she just walks into darkness, and then
Mm-hmm.
you wait a few seconds, and then she comes back out in
There's a rat before she steps out of the darkness. Roll a dex to see if you can avoid stepping on the rat.
a rat.
Yeah, a rat.
What the hell did the rat? Okay, what, a dex save?
It's an alleyway.
God, is it dex save or what?
Just a dex check.
Oh, cool. Okay, she's a monk. 13.
Yeah. You feel something skitter along your foot, ruffling the go-go pants. You almost stepped on it, but it's small and fuzzy and gives a quiet little squeak as it as it runs underfoot across the alleyway.
She's just gonna say, "Oh no, I'm sorry, little guy. I'm so sorry." She's just gonna call out, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you."
Gosh.
Look, look. She doesn't want to step
ULTRABRAIN
on a
is,
living creature.
bless her heart. ULTRABRAIN is like leaning up against like a park bench, not on it, against it, and is talking to the octopus plush.
Hmm. Hmm. On one hand, she's very tempted to try and listen, but no, she's not. She's not no eavesdropper. She's not gonna do that. She
Oh
shakes her
my
head and says,
god.
she just walks straight up and says, "Well, I think I'm done as best as done can be." And she does, just holds her hands out, palms upwards, as if to say, well, do I look different enough to be recognized, you think?
Ultrabrain's just looking. And then Z like looks at the octopus plush as if like, do you see this? And looks back at you.
The octopus looks with its one single eye.
I think it starts to like list slightly where it's propped up on the edge of the of the uh of the bench. And Ultrabrain without looking just like picks it up. Or like grabs it, supports it, and puts it back. It's like, well, you certainly look.
She gives a sigh. Well, it's better than nothing, I suppose. I don't think the kids will probably recognize me like this anyhow. I'm far too brightly colored. Looks down and
I wouldn't say it's better than nothing, but it is definitely something.
just slowly
There's
pans off
no
at me
accounting
and
for
glares.
there's no accounting for taste, I guess. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
The latter is addressed at the octopus plush as
Oh my
Ultraman
god!
holds it up like Macbeth style before shoving it in your coat into the hammer space.
She's just giving you such a baleful look. Like, I'm not even gonna roll whiz save for this. She's just shooting you daggers and it's just. Look now, I spent this afternoon trying to find cheap clothes that would disguise me. It ain't gotta look good. It's just gotta look not like Nanny. It don't matter what I look like, so long as I don't look like me. Not everything's gotta be
Alright.
flashy clothes and capes, you know. If you want to get a job done, you ain't gotta be all flashy about it, especially if you're robbing a bank.
Well, robbing a bank is the type of job that you do flashily
No,
sometimes if
it
you
is
want
not.
to.
You do not do any sort of crimes flashily. That's just a way for you to get caught.
What's the point, sweetheart?
What?
Uh,
What? She's shaking her head. She doesn't understand. She doesn't fucking understand.
it's like-
Are you trying to get me caught? Is that what you're trying to do? At this point,
no,
she's
we're
kind
not.
of
We're not
stepping back
doing
a
a
couple of
whole.
steps.
It's like, no, I'm not trying to upstage whoever lives here, whoever has this territory already. I'm robbing a bank because I want something that's in the bank, not for the sake of robbing the bank. Besides, you want to do the whole, stealthy, wealthy, thing. Um, uh, go. We'll try that. We'll try not to get caught. I'm sure Minion would love to watch the kids for longer, but I don't have enough to post bail, so um, I don't think you're very. I mean, the kids might be able to post bail. They were very,
No.
very intent on getting you before. Maybe they
Oh,
could
no,
break
no,
us
no, no.
both
You are
out.
not getting the kids involved with this. You understand me? She marches very, very much up close to you. Are you still sitting down?
Oh, Ultrabrain was never sitting down. Ultrabrain
Oh,
was like
leaning against
leaning
the
on the
side.
back of the leaning against the back of the bench.
Okay.
He's not going to use a chair normally.
Fair enough. I'm gonna roll intimidation. She gets right up in your face and she says,
Mm-hmm.
listen here. I agreed to do this for my kids. You are in no way, shape, or form getting them involved with your little crimes. Do you understand me? I will not have that. And her teeth are gritted and she's really trying to glare at you, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's an 11 though.
11.
It's only an 11. You've seen worse. Also, her get up
Yeah,
is.
Ultrabrain's seen worse.
Oh, her get up is
Definite,
not.
a B minus for effort and execution. I mean, you could work on that a little bit. It doesn't look that bad, but I get where you're coming from. This is just I was speaking hypothetically.
Dear, take a deep breath. Let it out. Her fists visibly clenched and her teeth visibly grind as she steps back and says, all right, fine. That's all right, I'm fine. Just do not joke about getting my kids into trouble. Do you understand? Me is one thing. Them, do not involve them. in any of this.
I mean, they're fine enough at getting in trouble on their own. I don't think they need my help. Uh, your
Gosh.
brain just pushes off the bench. Um, and buries their hands in their pockets. It's like, come along now. We're gonna have to work on a villain name for you or something if you don't want to be
No,
recognized
no, we
doing the
ain't
whole.
doing no villain names. I can just be, I don't
Well, do
know,
you want
Nick
me to just
Hopkins.
call it? I mean, I can just call you Nanny all night if that's what you
Don't
would
you
like.
dare! Don't you dare! And she's
Granny
following
Smith it
behind.
is.
She, sorry, what did you say?
Granny Smith it is.
Granny Smith? She just, under all intelligence, and she put two and two together. Is this why you
Yeah.
chose the apple? Oh, trad. It's an 18.
An 18.
She looks at you, and then she's like, "Why on earth am I Granny Smith?" And she pauses, and she slowly lifts her hand up to the side of her face and just squeezes.
Well, you're a bit sour.
Oh my god. She's just, oh god, man, she's just she's just sitting here like,
Come on, the bank's 2 blocks away. We don't have all night. Oh, we do, I guess.
she's real angry. She's just fine. You call me whatever, well, no, whatever you want, but so long as it's not demeaning
Late
or,
for dinner?
excuse me?
Late for dinner? That's usually where that one goes.
She rolls her eyes, crosses her hands across her very bright psychedelic shirt, and says, "Oh, honestly, I just want to get this thing over with. All right, let's go." And she just kind of walks past you, for a little bit, and she stops, turns around the hill, and says, "I don't actually know where we're going, so let's go." And she jerks her head in the direction she was walking.
I think this is where Ultra Brain rolls survival to see how long it takes them to get. This is usually Minion's bit. That's a 9. um, so they go down a couple of streets and they make a couple turns, and you're pretty sure like you loop like you've seen that storefront at least twice in the last 15 minutes. But Ultra Brain is continuing to saunter nonchalantly and does not seem bothered.
She's probably gonna take this
But
time. Hmm?
eventually, as the shadows continue to lengthen, you do see uh, a bank-ish building in the distance.
Okay, so we're going the wrong way. Wonderful. Uh,
You're starting to. It took y'all a while to find it. It took Ultra Brain a while to find the bank. Ultra Brain's not going to say it took her a while.
mm.
Z was not. I don't think Z was actually actively looking for it. More like maybe I'll come across it. I think with a 9, Ultra Brain doesn't actually know where the bank's address is here. So Z is just walking until Z finds a bank.
I gotta roll an insight, see if she notices this. 'Cause God.
Okay.
Takes one look at this blueberry of a person and just, all right, fine. Do this your way. And she's not gonna try and like steer them the right way.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna let them just have a wander around, you know?
Yeah, no, that's just a wander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just have a wander, and I think with that it take like maybe like a half-hour walk, like 45 minutes. Um, they do eventually come across the bank.
Lovely.
Ultra Brain, it's dark. Ultra Brain like squints at the sign. It's just like, is this the right branch?
I'm just gonna roll something quickly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Is this the bank
beautiful.
I want to rob? It's a 7.
That's a nat 1
That's a
for
nat
stealth.
1.
Um,
A nat 1 stealth?
uh-huh. Nanny is trying not to be seen near the front doors of this place, but she's wearing a giant flippin' apple hat. She's wearing go-go pants and psychedelic shirt. You are correct in that it's certainly an outfit. It's people have been watching her as you guys have been walking around. She can't hide like this. Not with this
I think
on.
with each like the go-go pants are so big, like with each like step or like parachute pants sort of thing,
Oh my
they
gosh.
just like swish 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 swish.
She's just gonna look out at this once she notices and people looking at her and she's just gonna sigh, reach into the reach underneath. She's gonna have to like pull the front of the apple hat forward a bit, reach underneath it, reach underneath, and then she pulls out two leather straps, hooks them
Ah!
into the go-go pants, and then suspends them over the back. So now she's wearing suspenders. Oh my god, she looks like a damn clown. She looks like a clown.
He does.
All she's missing is the red nose, and you have a clown. Although to be fair, her whole head is an apple, so debatable. Debatable if the nose is needed.
I think when she does the suspenders, Ultra Brain's like, "Do you have a birthday party to go to after this?"
Slowly looks over at Ultra Brain, says nothing, and just looks at the front doors of the bank and then back at Ultra Brain and says, "Well, what's your bright idea, a mastermind planner?"
Um, do you want to roll her perception?
Yeah, that would be an idea, wouldn't it, sweetie? What you got there? The whole 10.
10. All right. So with a 10, uh, with the 10, the bank is closed.
Wonderful. She sighs.
With a 10, the bank is closed. What's their passive? Stealth. Yeah, with a 10, the bank is closed.
Wonderful.
That's all you can tell. Yeah, the bank's closed. It's late at night. It's nighttime. That's a bank. It's closed.
Gosh, she's just gonna lift a hand up and just rub at the spot where her nose would be between her eyes and just glances behind. And she's gonna see, is there like an alleyway anywhere or anywhere behind the building?
Oh yeah, there's alleyways and stuff. Ultra Brain's just kind of like looking at her.
Oh my god. She's looking at Zem and looking around the back of the building and then looking at Zem and they're like, well, I'm not the expert here. I'm not the one that's been robbing banks since I was walking around in my diapers apparently. So how's about you show yourself those your expertise skills, hmm? I ain't taking the lead on this one.
Ultra Brain. Ultra Brain. As soon as you like outright say robbing a bank, okay, I'm gonna have to roll for them, I guess.
Oh gosh.
Perception. Uh. Well, no. Nanny did a nat 1. Nanny did a nat 1.
Oh god.
I don't. I think no matter what, um, as soon as you say that, Nanny, you hear a from the front of the bank, and there's a guard sitting there. You don't know how you missed.
She just slowly turns towards the guard and she gives a big smile and waves a hand and says, "Oh, howdy there. Me and my friend. She gets out.
No.
What partner?
Ultra Brain throws an arm around her shoulder.
Oh, she's immediately tense. I have to roll deception. I have to roll deception. 14. Teeth are gritted. She's smiling. She's definitely smiling. She's like, yes, this is my partner, and we're just heading home from a nice night out. So forgive us if
We're
we
practicing improv routines.
yes, exactly that. As you can see, we're in no state to rob a bank. So she gestures at herself and says, "What sort of ludicrous person would try and rob a bank in this sort of state? You know, I just came back from running a charity event. So, well, I ran a charity event. Then we went for drinks, and now we're doing a little bit of improv because apparently I need to practice that.
She's terrible at it.
Oh yes, I'm simply awful. She's called
Roll deception.
me. Yeah, no, okay. A teen. I have a luck point. I can use a luck point. See what that does.
I mean, if you'd like to, but Ultra Brain rolled a 5.
Oh my god. You know what? No, let's keep it low. Let's keep it low.
Yeah.
The funniest. Let's do it.
Insight for the guard. It's just gonna be a straight D20. 14.
Oh my god. I
The guard looks you up and down, Nanny. Bit on the nose, don't you think? Move along. I don't want to see you two around here again tonight.
Oh, of course. Oh, no, of course. I mean, I don't actually physically have a nose, but of course, of course. And she just kind of like puts a hand between Ultrabrain's shoulder blade and pushes them down the road and gives a cheery little wave to the girl and says, "It was real nice meeting you. Sorry if we intimidated y'all at all." And she just walks on down the road.
Ultra Brain, big old smile as they leave and a wave behind Nanny's shoulder.
God. The whole time she just has a big, gritted, cheery grin, and the minute she sees an alleyway out of the sight of the guard, she's gonna grab the arm that's around her shoulder and just haul Ultra Brain by the arm that is around her just into an alleyway. And she's gonna kind of throw the arm off of her shoulder and shake herself out and says, honestly, this is not funny. This is not funny. This is not funny.
It is hilarious.
Nothing about this situation is hilarious. Nothing about this is funny. You want to rob that bank? You want to rob that bank? And you just sit there and you watch me do. I'm doing my best here, all right? I'm doing my best, and you're just sitting there laughing at me. Are you actually gonna get
a second? Hold on, give me a sec. A bit on the nose. Okay. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Gosh, I'm gonna roll a save. Ooh. And now I'm gonna roll this. Okay. And then I gotta roll
Parody event.
That. Oh, she doesn't. She doesn't have a lot of that. Okay.
Okay. That's an 8 and a 4. I'm not sure what these numbers are, but they're not high.
That was a whiz save and then a strength check. She was gonna try and shove Ultra Brain into the wall out of anger, but she just kind of whiffs it and instead just bumps them on the shoulder and says, "Now you listen here. This ain't no funny little hee hoo ha ha joke. You want me to help you rob a bank, and that's what I'm trying to do, and you're treating it like it's some sort of little game. This ain't no game for me. I'm doing this so that you give back what isn't yours. So how about you actually gussy up and show me what a real villain you think you are? Unless, of course, this is all some sort of bluff.
Oh, you take yourself way too seriously. Oh, man.
I don't think you take matters seriously enough. We may be told, but not everything is fun and games, you know.
No, it's not, but this is.
Oh, gosh. I'm gonna roll
Ultra
something.
Brain.
Give me a second.
Ultra Brain pushes up off against the wall. Yeah, you roll. Do a roll.
Okay.
Okay.
As you push off the wall, you see a fist come past you and slam into the wall, and you feel a few chips of brick flick off. Like just probably like slightly onto your face. Maybe it slips down the back of your shoulder, and there's a noticeable dent in the wall as Nanny is glaring at her fist, which is trembling, and she's taking deep breaths, trying very, very hard to calm down.
He's looking disinterestedly at the fist buried in the brick, like an inch from their face. Is like, I did say you could just take me out if you wanted a knife. Either one will work. We could just do the fight now if you wanted.
No, I'm not. I am not someone that goes around hurting people. That ain't what I do, and I ain't gonna do that. She slowly takes the fist out of the wall, shakes off the rubble of it, and just blows on her fist a little bit, which does look quite. I mean, she's still wearing the apple hat, man. It's very it's not the most intimidating of looks that she's looking at right now, despite her face being quite dark and shadowed in the alleyways, shadowed light. have I have only so much patience. I'm not gonna beat you up, but if you think you're such a big villain, you're just what? You're not what? I don't know why you're trying to treat this like a game. There's something in there that you want, but you're just. Do you not want it enough not to do this seriously?
Not really, no.
She shoots you a puzzled look. She's like, so there's something there you want enough to break into the bank, but not enough for you to seriously want to break into the bank.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I do seriously want to break in. I seriously am going to break into the bank. But no one says I can't have fun while doing it.
It's just breaking into banks and villainy should not be a hobby.
No, it's a career.
It shouldn't be a career either.
I mean, you can do it. I mean, you can do it like a hobby. I'm not going to shame anyone who doesn't, want to pursue villainy as a career. I understand. But no, it's a career for me. It's a hobby for some. They get the whole. Those are the ones that tend to do. And Ultra Brain is walking sort of like as Z talks, like back deeper into the alleyway. It's like those are the ones who tend to do the whole like for real secret identity sort of thing. You get the the career heroes tend to have like sort of the open secret sort of thing. Well, some of them depends on the genre. Honestly, some of them like to do the full secret identity and all of the angst and the drama that comes with that. But the villains are usually all out in the open, stuff like that, like me. But the villain hobbyists, the sort of the part time villains, they tend to do the secret identity thing a little bit more. Makes it a bit easier, I guess. But neither here nor there. Takes all sorts.
Nanny is following closely behind ULTRABRAIN. She's not saying anything. She's gripping the fist that she used to punch the wall with her other fist, and she is occasionally shooting ULTRABRAIN side eyes, but she's not saying anything. She's just following behind, following in line.
So, do you want to see the map or not?
She stops and just. I think seeing the map would probably be helpful, even if it's not exactly, even if it's not accurate to this particular building, as perhaps some adjustments have been made, but it's better than nothing, sure. Lay it on me.
Ultra Brain, well, actually. Okay, yeah. Ultra Brain pulls out a map, like a piece of, a little rolled up map,
Mm.
and hands it to Nanny, without looking at her. I won't make you roll for this, but you can tell that you both have walked up to the side of the bank.
Mm.
There's barred windows, and it's tall and towering. Z's looking over. It's like, well, the layout seems to be mostly the same. The guards' schedule's a little bit different. Usually there were two at the front at the Toontown guard at the Toontown branch, but there's only one out front. And I don't know if the other person called out or it's just late or if they only do it later, but you know how it is. There's probably at least one other person inside.
She just slowly nods and kind of looks back to the entrance of the alleyway where the guard she didn't see was waiting. She's like, right, I can't imagine they're gonna leave this place. It's a bank. Of course they're not gonna leave this place unarmed. That'd be well, if they did leave the bank unarmed, that's a little more ominous than if they had guards. So perhaps we're not dealing with something. We're not dealing with something too powerful, at least. Not something that they'd not need to hire guards for. I guess that's sort of reassuring. And she kind of kneels down and looks at the plans over. And you can roll an insight if you want, Trad.
All right. Um, Insight. That's just, yeah. Good old -2. That's a 12.
Uh, Nanny seems to be taking this. I mean, Nanny seems to be taking this seriously. It's Nanny. And she is scouring the map with very sharp eyes, going
Mm-hmm.
over every room. She seems to be taking this in, quite well, marking out areas, and just like looking the place over. She seems to be taking certain ideas into consideration. She seems to be
Mm-hmm.
properly thinking about this and how to approach this.
Ultra Brain notes that. And I think I go. Any ideas? And Z crouches down next to where Nanny is squatted, looking at the map.
Okay. This is for due clarification. So I'm looking at a map
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people probably can't see right now. The light blue lines, are those doors or windows?
Windows.
They're windows, and
So
those have got bars over them.
the dark blue is doors.
Mm.
The light blue is windows.
Mhm.
Nanny would be able to figure this out by looking at the map. I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Yeah.
It would be an actual, like a more reasonable plan map. There's like the main entry lobby that the guard that you didn't see was at. There's a role for like tellers, and there's like a small sort of safe corner in there. But then there's a bank manager office, and through the office is the stairs to get up top to where the vault. Sorry, to get down below to where the vault is.
Mhm.
And then off to the side, there's like an employee break room, with uh, tables, chairs, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are red dots on the map based on what Ultra Brain said earlier. You can surmise that that is what, since there's two near the front entrance, you can surmise that those were potential guard schedules. Um, and there's one window in the office, and there are two windows in the employee break room, or in the back room storage break rooms thing.
Okay. She's gonna look at all of this and slowly nod and says, look over ULTRABRAIN. Uh, I just want to confirm something. How accurate are the actual guard schedules you got here? Because we got four bogies in there, and do you know if this is going to be incredibly accurate, or is this subject to change? Do you think?
Probably to change. They had extra guards at, oh, extra in air quotes. They had more guards. I would surmise they have more guards, the Toontown branch, just because it's Toontown, which tends to, be rife with a little bit more fun times. Here, it's probably not. I would surmise there's maybe half the number of guards. I don't know where they're at. As I said, we didn't scope this place out at all. Um, there might. I would think there's at least one other guard hanging around, but I am not quite sure. It'll be part of the fun.
All right, for you, a headache for me, I suppose. Which seems to hold up to what's it? She seems to be thinking of words. Holding up part of the course, I suppose. Let's see. I'm just gonna check some spells. By some, I mean literally two.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay. So Nanny's gonna look at this map, and then they are gonna look over at ULTRABRAIN. So I only got two spells, and well, that's just being part of a toon and being part of being rubber hose. And I got Hades Laughter, but they ain't gonna do much. In fact, they might just alert the guards even more. Uh, Alternatively, I do have a nifty little thing. Part of being rubber hose is a little nifty spell called Silent Image. Well, I was actually I've used that a couple times, but might use that to distract the guard. At least maybe one of us plays distraction, the other heads down to the vault. Um, I'm thinking potentially the office, the best place. Get in and out real quick. Otherwise, we'll potentially have to do. I mean, we could do the office break room. We could go for the the room at the bottom. I don't think the front door is going to be a good idea. There's two of them. Well, there's only one guard there, but there could be other guards. I don't know how many are patrolling around. But yeah, most likely bet would probably be uh, office or. And she seems to be thinking office or break room. But again, I'm no expert here. What are you thinking?
Well, um, Ultra Brain, uh, points the nap. If we're sharing, the spells I prepared for tonight are Alarm, Grease, and Snare. So we can stop anyone chasing us if we need to, and potentially keep someone held. I'm not really one for grappling, but you might be though, Miss Little Granny Monk over here. Heroism and shield aren't really going to do us much unless we get into a scrap. I got prestidigitation as well, which always good one to have. We might be able to make a distraction with that as well.
I mean, if
Um,
we combine silent image or prestidigitation, we can make a hell of a distraction. I cast a silent
we
image of
could.
something, and you can make some sparks, little fireworks, something flashy, catch the attention, draw them out, and we may not even have to have no confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
In and out, slip
The
by
the
that.
issue with the windows is that they're barred, so we're gonna have to either force them open or break them open one way or another. I do have a crowbar. The office, however, while it is closest to the uh, closest to the stairs, it is the one spot that we've seen consistently be guarded. So, at the bare minimum, there's usually one guard at the entrance and one guard in the office or nearby it, um, since it's so close to the vault.
She's just gonna slowly nod and say, "Well, if you look at the map, it don't matter where we go. We're gonna have to go through that office to even get to the vault anyhow. There's the only way you can get through there, you know? I mean, I ain't got no spells to go burying beneath and like dig into the bank. I ain't got nothing like that. Honestly,
Yeah,
no
that'd
matter
probably
where we go,
require a
we're gonna have to go
gadget.
through that office."
Mm. So, how are we going to get into that office without alerting the guard? Do we want?
Hmm.
How fast do you think you could take them down?
She pauses and just, "I would rather not get into a scrap if I can. Again, I'm not somebody that likes to fight."
You could have fooled me.
And she shoots you another glare and just sighs. Well, the fun thing about silent image is that I don't have to see where I'm casting it. I can just I can cast it about 15 foot about. It's got 60 foot away from me, about 15-foot range sort of thing. I can just, with this map, I know where everybody is. I can cast that little distraction, perhaps somewhere behind the tilling office, and if there's anyone there, they'll go scurrying over. And I ain't got to see where it is. I know the layout of this map. So, cast it in there. If there's any guard in there, they'll go running out. We can bend the bars, get ourselves in real quick, close the door behind us, or at least set an alarm for if somebody tries to come down. Uh, but then how are we gonna hide the fact that we used to bend the bars? And she's having a good thinking scratch about this.
Mm-hmm. Ultrabrain, would she be paying attention to Ultrabrain right now, or
No,
just
she's in planning
she's in
mode. She's
full
trying to figure this
planning
out.
mode? Um, for the audience, Ultrabrain is delighted by this.
Look, you ask her to do something, she's gonna do it seriously. Um,
Yeah, she is in full planning mode.
she's in getting it done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Well, if you want to go with that, we could make a distraction outside the near the front, see if that guard will call for backup. But if you want to do something inside the bank, uh, that would call that would probably call the outside guard in. So there would be two, at least two to deal with. Uh,
That's true
for
enough,
dis-
but
for disguising though.
I'm just
Hmm.
thinking, no matter what we do, we're gonna have to deal with something on the way out because I can't imagine that
Oh, of
they have a
course.
protocol where they call every guard outside to look at one thing. Again, they might be tunes, but I don't think we should underestimate the fact that you always leave one guard behind to guard the big cash money. You know, it's just what makes sense. It's how I would do it at least. She's thinking. So no matter what, I think we're gonna be running into one of these little buggers, and well, the only thing I can think to do is at least get them both somewhere else so we can actually get in through the office, get in and out as quick as we can. Otherwise, we're still gonna have to. Even if we cast a distraction out the front, I don't feel like that person in the office is gonna go out there because they gotta guard the vault. You know, that vault's the big security.
Perhaps.
Hmm. You can Ultra Brain. You don't have to roll insight. You can clearly see this woman is racking her brain. She is taxing her
Mm-hmm.
brain trying to figure this out.
Bless. If we can subdue the guard in the office, without learning anyone else, we'll be home free, more or less.
Yeah.
There is getting into the vault to consider.
Yeah, we do need to get into that vault. Well, she looks down at her hands and then kind of looks, just looks, towards the side of the building. Well, I said I ain't gonna hurt nobody, but and she clenches her fist. Suppose I could give knocking down a door or two a try, maybe.
Alrighty.
Well, it's better than knocking the guard out or, fighting them. She shoots you a glare and says, again, unless you got any better ideas, Mr. Is it Mr.? I don't know what the gender. Mix, wouldn't it be? It's Mix. Yes, it's Mix. And she clicks her little mitts together. I don't know if you've got any better ideas, Mix, but I'm doing the best I can, all right? You're the expert here.
Well, I do like the idea of alarming the door down after us, as we head down to the vault. I've got snare, but I need to be in the. I don't know if you know how it works, but I need to set it up in a space before it can be activated. I do have grease. We could perhaps make them slip as we come in. Um, and if we can tie them up or, you know, tie them up as quickly as possible. It will probably involve a grapple. It's more of Minion's deal than mine, though. But you're here. Perhaps you can give him a big old granny bear hug. And ULTRABRAIN does go up and like pinch her cheek. That's
She slaps the hand away. Just backhand slaps that away. Just like, don't you go touching me willy nilly. Thank you very much. But you do
you
have.
started it.
You have. I did not. Shush. And she just puts a finger up to her lip and tap tap taps. Well, what we could do, silent image. You cast grease, and gotta try and make it look like so they think the silent image is the one that cast grease, and their attention will be on that. They'll fall, and then she's squinting really hard. I think that's the best thing. That's the best idea I got. Silent image, grease, thump him down, tie him up, and then just get the heck out of Dodge. Oh, and please, for the love of Peck, just gag him. That's probably a good idea. No one, no shouting. We really don't want them crawling for attention.
Of course, that's why we tie them up.
Well, I got some rope.
Well, I've got rope too. I've got 60 feet on grease. What if we put grease right in front of the door leading out of the office?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And
actually,
perhaps you can make it look like I don't know. We'll have to get to the window and see, but maybe you could make it look like a can fell off a shelf or something.
Potentially, that's an idea. And I feel like as they're discussing this, she is slowly wrapping up the map and handing it back to ULTRABRAIN and say, well, we can sit here all day chatting about how we're going to go about this, but again, this isn't exactly the most accurate of maps. This was a map for Toontown. So, probably, as much as I hate to say it, we're going to have to fly this off the seat of our pants, aren't we? And she hates that she has to say that because it echoes something you said earlier, and she hates it.
It's like, yeah. What else? What did I told you as much earlier?
Yes, well,
ULTRABRAIN's
yes, well, I've never
walking around the back.
I've never done something like this before. And she's just following after ULTRABRAIN. So excuse me, I wanted to try to be a bit more prepared.
Fine, fine. You don't need to take yourself so seriously, although it is really cute. You get like a little scrunched up face, little sour apple kind of look.
I am very cute, thank you very much, but I don't need that sort of compliments coming from you. She's just gonna hold her finger up to their mouth and just, do you want to alert the guards before we even get there? Keep your voice down.
Relax. It's fine.
No, it is not fine.
Come on, can you see through that window up there?
How tall's the window?
There's this. I think the window is like just a head taller than either of them are.
Oh gosh. She just looks up. And she looks at Ultra Brain. And Ultra Brain, she looks like she doesn't want to do this. She really, 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 really doesn't want to do this, but she sighs and crouches down and just kind of waves her hand over and says, I can't look up there, and I don't think you can either, so we either make a racket trying to pull something up and have a look-see, or one of us gives us a boost, and I don't think it's going to be you.
Well, I appreciate your hospitality. And if she's like offering offering, clasped hands for Ultra Brain to step up into.
She was actually offering like a shoulder lift. So
oh my god!
She'd have Ultra Brain sitting on her shoulders and then just 2 hands on the thighs to keep them up there.
Oh man, okay. So you go in expecting like a shoulder lift?
Mm-hmm.
Like you expect like what you do with your kids, right? Like they sit on your shoulders, legs dangling down.
Yeah.
Ultra Brain does what he does with Minion, which is just straight up like not standing on both of your shoulders. Cause he just steps up onto one shoulder like it's a step. And
God. It was a 19. Okay. She can take
19.
It. She
almost like a really big step stool. Basically, you don't know how he got their leg up that high in just a very very elegant step up, smooth motion.
I imagine they're not exactly very heavy.
Yeah.
Look at this beanpole, it's weird.
There's a little bit of weight, but by the way it shifts, you think it might be some sort of armor. And just whatever other stuff he's whatever other junks he's dragging around with her. And let me get back to the client. Oh, that's a 9 on investigation.
Oh my
god. I think with a 9.
Can I? I have the lucky here. Can I make you roll again?
If you want to.
Yeah. Please roll again.
It's worse. I think Ultra Brain. I think what happens, Ultra Brain's like, there's a plant in the way. There's a plant in the way. Scooch over some. And you scooch, but you just scooch more in the way of the plant. It's like, that's... You know what, just stay right there.
Oh my god. Good news. They can't be seen because the plant's in the way. Bad news. They can't fucking see it.
Can't really see.
We have made precisely 0 progress.
It's like, well, there's a plant.
What do you mean there's a plant?
It's dark.
Also, keep your voice down.
There's a plant and it's dark. I think I see someone in there, but I don't see if there's any, like, shelf or whatever.
All right, well, let's go in there assuming that there is somebody in there, because it's probably better to assume than not, and get our butts caught red-handed.
I mean, my gloves are black. You're a bit more red-headed at the moment.
Oh, would you just be quiet? And she's just gonna duck back, but not to, like, drop you on your face or anything. She's just gonna duck down and slightly tilt, so you slide off her shoulder onto the floor.
Yeah, because he does a little like when you take a big smooth steppy.
Mm-hmm.
He does that
Oh, just a slide.
slide.
Slide. Man. Okay, so, gosh, what's Nanny gonna do now? Because Chad's just. Ultrabrain's just pecking. Oh my gosh.
Ultrabrain's just along for the ride.
Ultrabrain, you're the head of this operation, you absolute jerk. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Do you need to see in order to cast
No.
silent image?
No. This is me checking. Last I checked, I don't think we need to.
Line of sight.
Okay. The image of object, a picture of some visible number is no longer the image of is spot within range and lost federation. Yeah, it doesn't say I have to see the spot.
Yeah, just a point it within range.
Yeah, point within range. With a 15-foot cube of range, essentially. So what she gonna do is she's gonna look at you and say, "You said there's a plan in the way, right?"
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna try and get those bars off, and well, I need to actually climb and get up there first. She's gonna look up at this thing, glare, roll up the sleeves of her horrendous, long, long-sleeved psychedelic shirt, tilt her neck to the side, and just go, "All right, let me just climb up there real quick, and I'm gonna roll acrobatics to get her up to the window." It's a 14.
Okay.
She takes a couple steps back, does a very light tap 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 running start, gets 2 feet up onto the wall, jumps up and clings onto the bars. And can I roll stealth with advantage because there's a plant in the way to be seen?
Oh yeah, you can.
Cool.
As she does a little wall jump, you hear.
Mm-hmm. Shh. You just hear it come back to you. That's a 15 or a 15 for stealth.
15 or 15? Do you want 15 or 15?
I think I'll take the 15, thanks. It's a lot better than 15. Yeah, she's just gonna kind of look around and then down and say, I actually, I can't just yank these out of the wall because then I'll just fall back and then we'll be discovered. So I'm just gonna have to try and bend these out the way for us to fit. And she kind of looks down at you, Ultrabrain, and then slowly slides up and just stays on your head for a second. I'm really gonna have to bend these. All right, and she's gonna roll a strength to try and bend the bars. Can I roll a strength save because it's got more it's got a modifier on it.
Go for it. Yeah, you can do a strength save.
It's a 17.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, that's definitely gonna do it.
Yeah, she braces one elbow on one side and then she just heaves one of the bars to the side. And with that 15, she is trying to do this very quietly. So she's you can see her arms kind of shaking as she tries to pull this out. And it takes a little longer than you probably think than it would with Minion, but she does eventually get it to a sizable gap where even you, with your skinny little arms and your big old head, can fit on through. I'm gonna roll investigation for her actually because she should probably do that to make sure that she knows where everyone is. Damn it!
Oh, she gets advantage too.
Oh,
Why not?
advantage?
Yeah, 'cause she's doing this pretty well stealthily, and she knows there's a plant in the way.
Fair enough. It's a 13.
So I think a 13 after you get the bars out of the way, you can see better. There's only one obstruction in the way, and that's a plant. And you see a single guard sort of slouched in a chair, and I think you can tell there's a sleepy bubble out of their nose, and they look very relaxed. You're not sure if they're asleep or not, but also they might be asleep. You can't tell for sure, but they look very relaxed.
Can I roll an insight to see? Would that be allowed?
Yeah. Go for it.
It's a 17 again.
17. With a 17, this person is asleep. Let me see. Are they 1 for heavy, 2 for light? With a 17, you can just somehow tell that they are a heavy sleeper.
It's the way they snore.
It's the way, as you since you're up so close to the glass, you can catch like the little bit of rattling, as they snore. It vibrates the glass a little bit, with the big old that sort of thing.
Yeah. Kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and you can tell it's gonna take a little bit to wake them up. It's not impossible, but if you drop a pin in the room, they ain't gonna notice it.
Okay. She kind of nods at that, looks back down at Ultrabrain and says, "Alright, so, status update. Guards asleep, snoozing in the chair. They look pretty out of it. However, I don't want to risk that fella getting up and out. And they just kind of look over and they look at Ultrabrain and they say, so, alright, first let's get you in here and then we'll find out what to do from there. And she's slowly gonna slide herself into the room, whilst trying very hard not to knock the plant over. But before she does, she's gonna hold out a hand down for Ultrabrain to try and give them a lift up.
Ultra Brain. I guess I'll roll for it. I think that'd be probably an acrobatics. Ultra Brain's gonna do a similar sort of run up to the wall. And that's a
That's a crit fail.
That's a nat 1.
Can I try and catch them? Can I try and catch them?
Yeah, you can try. Do a I guess, would that be a save or a check?
I imagine
Dex check maybe.
Or a check. Okay.
Yeah, because like as Ultra Brain is running up.
Let's have a look. So 14.
14. Yeah, as Z runs up, Z plants a booted foot on the wall, and it slips off like there's no grip at all.
Oh, gosh.
But you manage to grab grabbed her collar before Z falls down completely, and Z scrambles in. Both roll stealth.
Yes. I would say as Nanny pulls Zem in, you're just going to hear a real smooth there, Ultra Villain.
Ultraman doesn't say anything. He's actually chewing gum.
Oh my god. She
does give her a wink.
She's just gonna look over at the gum chewing, and she's just, now you better not pop that gum or I swear I'm gonna, you just don't do that. You put that in the bin right now.
No, I think Ultrabrain does Ultrabrain does the thing where like you go to blow a bubble, but then you don't pop it. You just eat it again. And gives her a big grin and a wink.
Oh god, the minute you start blowing the bubble, she tenses and tenses and tenses, and you can see her head. Well, no, you can't see her. You can see the apple just starting to sort of slowly puff out. And as you take the bubble back in, you just see her slump and sigh and just, oh, gosh, gosh. She's just like, I know you think this is some sort of big game, but well, look, just don't pop that thing in here, all right?
Z, uh, because he gives you like a dismissive hand wave, um, and hmm. So he's looking between the two doors. There's the one door that goes down to the stairs, and then there's the one door that is going out to the lobby. And Z checks that door. Let me do.
Me, the Jew, has an idea, but sadly, she rolled a 6. Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
bless. ULTRABRAIN checks both doors, locks the one leading out to the sort of the main area, and gets to work on the other one. That's an unnatural 21 because he's got these tools. Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, let's see what Nanny's got. That's an idea.
Yeah, so Xy's going to try and pick the lock. That is a Dex plus modifier.
You're gonna just go pick the lock of the alarm of the door?
Yes, of the door down to the basement.
Okay, I need
it
to
is...
roll a quick investigation because actually no, she rolled low on her int. She's not gonna. She's just gonna kind of. She's gonna stand between the two doors, keeping her eye on the sleeping guard and also darting between the other door. And she's gonna roll a quick perception to see if she can hear anything while you're doing that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a 13.
Dex plus Dex. That's gonna be a plus. It's a 7. 7's not gonna do it. So as you're with a 13, you hear snoring mostly. Lots of snoring. This guy's straight sawing logs over here. Let me see. What's their passive? It's an 11. Okay. You do hear above the snoring, though. You hear sort of faintly another pair of voices. They sound like they're in a different room, perhaps behind a couple of them, behind a couple different doors. Based on the map layout, you guess maybe the employee break room. But you hear two voices, I think, talking to each other. One told a joke, and you heard a laugh.
Okay.
So you do hear two other people inside the building because I rolled to see how many guards there were, and there was the full 4. So we get 4 guards.
Wonderful. She's gonna tense up and just quietly whisper over. All right, so I think there's at least 3 of them in there because somebody just told a joke and somebody else just laughed, and then we got Sleepy over here. And she nods over at the snooze bubble guard. So I think this is. We gotta do this real careful. I think. How's that door coming?
as you're listening, Ultra Brain's face screwed up a little bit more, sort of in like annoyance, a little bit of frustration as he just continued chewing gum, and he gives you like a wishy-washy hand, um, as Z is still bent over the lock.
Do you want me to try my hand at that thing? What if we swap places? Because. And she kind of looks at the other door and then looks down and says, "Look, you got one of them snares, right? You said you got the spell snare? Something like that?"
Yeah, Ultra Brain nods, and hands over the lockpicks.
Yeah, she
They
does.
seem like really nice lockpicks. Also pretty well used.
She's
Very
gonna ignore
well
that.
used, but well maintained, well cared for. They're kind of a weird design. You'll still be able to use them perfectly fine if you have proficiency, which would be fun to
She does
find out.
not. She does
Oh,
not.
unfortunate.
So she doesn't know this is any different. She doesn't know what lockpicks look like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they're just definitely lockpicks.
I mean, yeah. Um,
Yeah, lockpicks.
she's just gonna look over at Ultrabrain and say, "Now I don't know which one you prefer to do, but I'm thinking either snare on the door so that when somebody comes through, at least one of them gets caught up in it, and then perhaps alarm on the door when we go down, after we go down at least, and then we'll know when someone's actually coming down into the underground with us."
Ultra Brain gives Zergam a snap, and gives you a
Snap.
thumb up. Yeah, like a small one.
She's gonna frantically glance over to the corner where the sleeping guard is.
And give a little thumbs up. It wasn't loud. It wasn't loud enough to break stealth.
Even so, she's just glaring
Yeah.
glaring at them. Just, I told you, be quiet. Don't snap that thing around here. You're gonna get us caught.
He's already there's I don't think you need an insight. Z's got a smile that says that Z did that intentionally because she's trying to get a rise out of you.
She's gonna roll her eyes and just shake her head and say, "Look, there's a time and a place for teasing, and now ain't it. You tease me all you like afterwards. Not right now." And she just kind of looks at the door and looks at them and said, "So are you gonna set it all up, or do I have to do everything myself?"
Xyz already even as you're talking about teasing, Z's already reaching into hammer space and pulling out a short ring, like a pre-cut, looks like a pre-cut ring of rope, and crouching near the front of the near the door that leads out to the lobby, and pulls out Xur laser gun actually, and starts fiddling with the there's like a dial on the side that comes in, and it comes in and out of model, but yeah, Xyz sets it up in front of the door, and seems to be doing the air quotes magic to make it do things.
Okay.
So you can.
Nanny's just gonna give a quick side eye to the gun, and while she's picking at the lock, or trying to at least, she's wearing mitts. It's probably a little bit of clumsy work. She just says, "I don't know. I hope that little doohickey of yours isn't set to kill or nothing. That better be just like a stun or something silly." Oh my god.
Oh, bless.
Oh my god.
She's too distracted.
She's busy looking at the gun. Her concern is,
Ultra
and
Brain
it doesn't seem like she knows what she's doing.
class. Ultra
Actually, you
Brain.
can roll an insight if you want.
Okay.
This is gonna be
Actually,
interesting.
yeah. Insight. That's a flat 0.
No clue.
No clue. Ultra Brain rolls her eyes, and finishes fiddling, sitting down, stands up, and aims at sort of like the center of the circle, and there's a quiet bolt of energy that comes out and briefly makes the 5 foot radius of the trap glow, and then it dissipates as Z walks back over to where Nanny is,
Who is?
and just sort of like, without answering her at all, just like is already taking the lockpicks from her.
She just she just sighs and hands them over, gets up, dusts down her trousers, and just looks over at the sleeping guard, keeping an eye on them.
Mm-hmm. With 12, it takes a little bit more fiddling, but you do finally hear a small click, and the lock falls, and Z turns the handle, and there's an open doorway down to the basement.
And I'm just gonna roll another quick intelligence check for her because she doesn't remember this. Oh boy, that's a 12. She nods at ULTRABRAIN and says, "Now don't forget to set up that alarm." And she kind of walks past ULTRABRAIN and starts to head down a couple steps before she stops and looks over and says, "Actually, I suppose a question would be, if we close that door and set up the alarm, are we gonna set up the alarm as we come through?
Um,
Or is there some way to keep
if
so
she's,
it's not us?"
you weren't specifying that she was talking quietly. Do you want to roll another stealth?
Oh my god. Can't believe you're doing this to me, Trad.
Yeah,
Can't believe you're doing this to me. I think it's
I
probably also
am.
she's just glad that it's, well, it's a 19.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
She whisper shouts.
She whisper shouts. Yeah. Um, Ultra Brain is still chewing gum for some reason that you can't figure out. Do you want to roll like an insight on that at all, or are you just a little ticked off?
Um, let's roll a whiz save and then see.
Okay. Um, Z rolls her eyes at her again as Z closes the door behind the both of you.
Okay, well, they rolled a dirty 20 for their whiz save.
Nice.
And then they get they're doing well on their saves. They're doing pecking awful on their actual skill rolls.
The roll itself was a 5. The only saving grace is your modifiers plus mother freaking 7.
Yeah. I can have as high modifiers as I like. Nanny ain't gonna roll for shit.
I think with a 12, something is only like you're only just starting to realize it. Because yeah, it's been a hot minute. And as you're walking down the stairs, you're only just starting to realize it. But I think maybe like an image flashes into your mind of like, I mean, like a kid, because you take care of children. Um, uh, Probably at some point, one of your kids has gotten a hold of this, of an item, that seemed like regular bubble gum. But when they blew a big enough bubble, it managed to trap many other small children and themselves within it. And you remember you remember that there is such thing as a bubblegum trap.
Jesus.
uh, which functions as the web spell with a dex save. And you're just starting. It's just starting to dawn on you as you walk down these stairs to the basement that Zergum might not be just to be annoying, although that is definitely a bonus.
She's gonna blink rapidly.
As you're thinking this, Xi didn't put Xer gun back in hammer space. It's now on a holster
Mm-hmm.
on Xer hip. And Xi shoots the handle of the door with it um, before holstering it back again and turning around towards you, descending the stairs, hands in pockets.
She's gonna let them move past her and just shoot them a weird kind of look. I mean, you walk past so you can't see it, but for the sake of people listening, she doesn't know what to think of this person. They confuse her. They are so confusing. Why are they like
Yeah,
this?
that's fair. That's a great question. Anyway,
Shaky Trad. Shaky.
oh,
Shake you and your gremlin little aliens.
oh, they're so gremlin little aliens.
Mm-hmm. Hadn't noticed.
Literally, yeah. You hadn't noticed? That's too bad. Um, so yeah, Xi, yeah, gladly takes the lead, and trots on down the steps, and steps on out into the vault room, which is a very plain looking room, with a big good old cinematic vault door, set into one side of it.
Wonderful. I'm gonna roll a perception just to see if there's anything else in this room that doesn't immediately stat. That's a 15. Is there anything else Nanny can get?
15. Hmm. With a 15, you notice some like crates, like some empty, like kind of like milk crates almost, like the wooden ones, um,
Okay.
like little wooden crates that you might use to move stuff, like up and down stairs. There's um uh I think there's like an old like there's a little cart down here maybe, like a little Rubbermaid cart, but
Mm.
uh I think for the heck of it too there's another potted plant, inexplicably,
In
uh
perfect health.
that is down here as well. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. Other than that, it's just bare, big old vault thing. The vault door is shaped like an apple though.
Well, I This is me, the player, looking at you, Trad, very slowly. I'm doing a very slow head tilt towards you. I
I'm resting my head my chin on my hands, and I'm saying
I'm
what?
resting my head firmly in my lap. I am bent in half. I am. I mean, I'm gonna. I have to make another whiz save. I'm gonna have to make her another whiz save because this is fucking ridiculous. That's a 10 average. I think she does what an average person would do and just stare at the door and stare at ULTRABRAIN and then put a hand on the side of her apple-shaped head.
I can imagine like she's like doing the pat thing, like
Mm-hmm.
wait, this thing I'm still wearing, right? Ultra Brain is just sort of like still hands in her pockets, kind of leaning back, looking over her shoulder at Nanny,
Nanny's
watching her.
Nanny's looking directly back, and she's gonna whisper, "Did you know about this?" She points at her head and then points at the lock. "Did you know about this?" And she just points viciously at her head and then back at the lock.
Ultra Brain blows a very slow bubble
Oh my fucking god.
and
Oh my fucking god.
and it's a small one and then just pops it quietly with a grin.
If Nanny had nostrils, there would be smoke fuming out of them. There would be a of a train noise coming out. But she doesn't. So luckily she can't do that. She just, "Alrighty then. Apple goes in the door. At least I presume so. I'm going to take a better look because I am not going to willy-nilly just do something and pull something out the corner of my, out the corner of my head. I'm going to do this properly, gosh darn it." And she's gonna look around. Well, actually, first she's gonna look at the door. It's a nat 20.
A nat 20.
First nat 20 to inspect a door.
With a nat 20, this is a combination lock, with letters.
How many letters, Trad?
There is a, with a nat 20, it's a combination lock, with letters. I will need to count, in a second.
Take your
to figure out how many letter spaces there are. But with a nat 20, you see a small slip of paper that's kind of tucked, it's tucked mostly behind one of the big, like, ostentatious gears. But it is like a little note, that's shoved, behind there.
Oh, it's behind. Oh,
yeah, it looks like a note someone tried to hide, like, sort of tucking it out of sight. But it is there.
Okay.
You can see it.
She looks at that. She looks over at Ultra Brain, and she kind of gestures her head to where it's sitting, tucked away between the gears. And she says, "All right, so got a combination lock. Don't know what that is exactly. However, how sticky are your fingers feeling tonight, Ultra Brain?"
Ultra Brain, I think you can guess the answer to that. Ultra Brain gives you another big old wide smile, and reaches up and like points at the door with like a quizzical look. Like where is it that you think it is? Because actually, yeah, she'll roll perception as well. I probably should have done that.
She will
Or
directly point at where it is. Like,
okay.
She will show Ultra Brain the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sees it. And so reaches up, and very carefully. Yeah, it's an unnatural 20.
Nice.
Z braces herself like on the bottom, like has to like climb up the door partially. But Z reaches up, plucks out the note, and hands it down to her.
She just nods and absentmindedly says, "Thank you very much, dear." And she just kind of opens up the note, has a very quick scan through.
And it says, I think it straight up says like password hint on it.
Oh my
like
god.
so when you forget
Mhm.
your password,
Yes.
and there's an optional field to fill in password hint.
Mhm.
Um
Has it just got the
this note,
pre-written password?
yeah, the note is written password hint, and uh it says 4 pies.
4 pies.
Yeah.
Hmm. Roll intelligence, because she's just. Oh, for. Oh my god.
The
I'm gonna roll her an intelligence because I think I know what the hell you're doing, you little
7,
shit.
8.
Um.
There is the combination lock has two
You fuck.
it looks like two sections.
You fuck.
The first one has 6 spaces and the other one has 5 spaces.
Chad, I love you, but you're an absolute little shit.
I
Fucking
am, thank
god.
you.
For everyone listening, I need you to know I love Trad with my whole fucking heart right in this moment. They are such a little shitbag. Oh my god. I know. Do you knows? But does
Does
Nanny know?
Nanny know?
13. She kind of she squints at the door and then looks down at the note and furrows her brow. She's like, "Well, it's probably got something to do with apples, but I can't think of what exactly that'd be." She just kind of scratches the side of her face, kind of the crocheted apple on her face, and looks over at ULTRABRAIN and hands it over and says, "I don't know if you can figure this thing out, but if you want to take a quick peek of that, and well, I'm gonna do a little more of a thorough sweep around here, make sure there ain't no cameras or nothing down here. You never know with these sorts of places."
These sorts of places. I'm so I I
Mm-hmm.
love you. I want to know what Nanny has gone through to make her
Yep.
think that a bank could be like some sort of secret underground like
Got it.
something or other. I know she's done. I know there's things, but and I'm like I'm just know I'm looking.
I
Um
pat you. I pat you, Chad. You can look. You can look.
uh-huh. Um
But yeah, she hands that note over to ULTRABRAIN, whether they takes it or not.
it's
Oh, is that
yeah.
another
Okay,
20?
no, she could do have her do her look. Have her do her look.
Her look? Oh, right, okay, perception.
Yeah.
Should it be perception or investigation? Because she's trying to find, like, any kind of spying devices or anything suspicious that would warrant taking note before they do anything.
So the way I tend to roll it is
Mm-hmm.
perception is just looking around. Investigation is physically handling an object, moving it, moving stuff around,
Ah, right.
feeling up walls, that sort
Yeah,
of
she
thing.
ain't touching
That's how I
nothing.
tend. Yeah.
She ain't touching
She's not
nothing.
touching anything.
No, she doesn't know what the hell anything in here is. She doesn't want to set anything off by accidentally touching the wrong thing.
Okay, so that'd be perception if she's doing a real hard look.
Damn it. I'm using a luck point. I'm using a luck point. Let's do it again. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's better. Just about.
14.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see anything more out of the ordinary. You got yourself a nat 20 coming in, or you do notice that the crates seem to have little apples on them as well. You didn't notice that before. Lighting was a bit dim, um, but you do see there seems to be like an apple core over in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no spying devices, cameras, whatever, as far as you can tell.
Okay. She's
Um,
very sus of that apple core though, because that's awfully fresh. Hmm.
no, it's kind of, uh, I mean, it's fresh-ish. It's an
Mm.
apple
It's
core.
browned.
Yeah, it's a little browned. Um, as you're looking around though, uh, I made Ultra Brain roll to solve the riddle because that's what's fair. Because I made the riddle. And Z got a nat 20.
Z did.
Yeah. So as you're looking around, you hear
She just kind of looks over her shoulder from where she's been kind of frisking down the plant in the corner, which she has also noticed is very well taken care of, and she just like kind of gently pats its trunk and its leaves and says, "I don't know who's taking care of you, but they're doing a very good job." Looks over her shoulder and says, "What's so funny?" And she is whisper shouting this.
um Ultra Brain Ultra Brain just has a huge smile, just cracking this hugest grin, and then just points at you directly.
Her face just scrunches up that. I know you think I'm some funny thing to laugh at, but that doesn't answer my question of what exactly about this.
Dismissive hand wave, gesturing you to come over,
She sighs, looks at the potted plant, pats it one more time, gets up, brushes off her beautifully psychedelic pants as well, and walks over and says, "Well, what exactly? Go on, go ahead. What exactly is so funny then?"
Uh, Xyz, uh, pointing at the note, and looking at you, like, right? Like, the note, yeah? You know the note?
She nods slowly.
Um, Z points at your head.
Yes, I know it's got something to do with apples. I already figured that part out. I don't know what this is. And she gestures at it. I mean, how is that related to apple? Isn't spelled with five. Well, I guess one of them could be apple. Because it's the five letters. That could be apple. But then what's the one before it?
Z leans towards you more with a big, deep, delighted grin.
I'm gonna roll. God.
And mimes walking with a cane, like mimes like a cane.
I'm gonna roll intelligence because she figured this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dirty 20. Oh.
Yeah, and just pokes her and it like points at her, like does the point with just like a little bit of poke at her chest.
She kind of grasps her chest and just glares at Zem and just goes, you don't just point and touch a lady's chest like that. You don't do that." And she kind of pauses and then, wait a second, looks down at where you were miming the cane, looks back up, slides
Their
her
grin
hand,
somehow gets wider.
slides both her hands onto the side of her head, the side of the apple on her head, and her head slowly tilts down so you can't see her face. And she just, I'm gonna hate the answer to this, aren't I? She just looks at the combination lock. Alright, if it's not this, then, well, I honestly don't. I've got one other idea if it's not this, but let's give it a go. And she's gonna go over to the lock, and she's gonna put it.
What's she gonna put into?
She's gonna put in GRANNYSMITH, and she's gonna hate every single letter she puts in. She gets
As
more
she
and more visibly slumped as she does this. And by the time she's finished, she's on her knees on the floor, and she's slowly but softly donking her head onto the fucking door. She's just slowly, not looking, just scrolling the combination to the right letters, to the T and then to the H.
as she is slowly melting to the ground
Yes.
in agony,
Yes.
Ultra Brain is progressively getting more and more like weak limbed from like silent suppressed laughter. Cause he's hanging like, cause he was like pressed, like hanging up against the plant. It's like almost bent double.
Oh my god.
And as you put in the final letter, as the T slots it, as the H slots itself into place, there is a click, and the big old turny door, uh, the door turn crank, uh, becomes loose.
She doesn't get up. Her head is still against the door. She stopped thunking it, but her head is still against the door. She does not move. The hand that was putting in the combination just slowly drops from it and just drops onto the floor next to her. She's not moving.
Uh,
Her
let
face
me
is tilted down and she's
let
on
me
her knees and
roll.
she's not moving.
Cool. Let me roll. Um. What would it be to keep from swallowing your gum trap?
Hmm. Dex save,
I would say like
guess.
whiz. Yeah, whiz save. It's not
Whiz.
great because he's probably gonna swallow it. It's gonna be funny. Yeah. Um.
Odds.
As you just lay on the ground in defeat. Uh, you the stifled wheezing laughter from out of your vision just
You
oh
alright?
shit.
Pat you. Don't die. Don't choke on invisible gum trad.
No, that was me pretending to choke on gum.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
you were actually.
Ultra Brain coughs, like does like a couple like surprise coughs. There's, oh shit. All right, so much for that then. All right, come on, let's go. Pushes herself up off, straightens up. Does tuck the note back in where it was.
Good.
Um, and rolls stealth to open the door. 17. Yeah. And Z, very carefully with a practiced hand, um, grabs the big crank and rolls it rolls it through and stops just before it hits and swings it open.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Nanny sees none of this. Her head is still tilted towards the ground. Her hands are now in her lap, where her knees
Mm-hmm.
are touching the ground, and she's just. No, there's silence. There's nothing coming from her. She's
Okay,
clearly having
cool.
a moment.
Yeah. So, while you have your moment, Ultra Brain, I'm guessing you're not paying attention.
Oh
Let me
no,
set the
she
scene for
is
you.
not paying attention. She is having
Yeah.
some internal turmoil.
Let me set the scene for you.
Please do.
Um, as you are, as you are, uh, as you are sitting there in internal turmoil, you hear the clack of Ultra Brain's heels walking past you into the vault. You hear a little bit of a clink, a little clattering of coins, not as much as you. I don't think you're paying attention. A little bit of clattering, sounds like metal. You hear sounds like some sort of boxes being shuffled around. Just sort of general rustling noises. And uh, dun, 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 let's you hear this rustling around as you are stuck inside your Ted for a moment.
They're very much inside of their own head at
You
the
don't
moment.
know how much time passes, but eventually in front of you steps two pairs of knee-high black of like calf high black pointy heeled boots right in front of you, and you hear a So you're just gonna sit there, or?
You get no response. Let me just roll something. Just roll something. You can try and roll insight if you'd like. Oh, I like that number. I like that number. I like that number. I like this one even better. Oh boy.
An even number.
Okay, that was a whiz save. She does not seem to notice you. You do see her face slowly tilt up, not looking at you, but inside of the vault, sightless eyes, and there's just the blankest, glazed expression on her face as she looks around, clearly not taking anything in from the vault. She's just gonna slowly grab onto the side of the door, or to a wall or something, haul herself up slowly, one knee bent, flat foot on the ground, pull herself up, other knee bent, flat foot on the ground. She slowly stands to her full height. And she just turns to look at you very slowly. Just gonna hear her quietly mutter, "So, how much of all this was, pre-planned?"
I'm not sure you can hear it, but I'm absolutely like, I literally have a box here of juice, and I'm slurping.
I cannot hear the slurping, I'll just hear like...
Unfortunate. Um, ULTRABRAIN takes another slurp and goes, well, the hat was a stroke of fucking genius on my part.
You...
I wanted juice. And Glorps is closed. I was going to rob a bank and then buy the apple juice from Glorps, because Minnie and I are trying out a new thing where we buy things from stores with money. Well, I'm trying it out. Minion apparently does it all the time, but whatever. But Glorps is like super closed. They've been out doing, I don't know, lava-y things. So I figured I'd just cut out the middleman, and just steal the juice directly. Another slurp.
She slowly looks down at the juice box in your hands.
Yeah.
She looks back up at you.
There's a juice box in one hand and like a case of juice boxes in the other. You know how like someone carries like a case of beer? It's like that,
Oh.
but it's apple juice.
Okay. Okay. She is gonna reach out and she's gonna slowly put her hands on the case of apple juice and slowly start to pull it away from you. Or at least try.
See, let's her. It's just like, yeah. You want some? Go ahead, take some too. I mean, we are here to steal after all. Though, do be warned, I think there is some regular, like, apple juice in here, but most of it's the apple juice. You will have to roll a d4, if you drink any.
She's just...
There's also money over there. Like, I don't know if you just are like to pay with, like, pennies, with, like, coppers and silvers just to annoy everyone else in line behind you, but there is like money. You could do that if you wanted. But there's plenty of juice. I'm sure the kids would love some.
She is
He
staring.
takes another slurp.
She is staring down at this pack of apple juice. I do not know how many are in this pack, by the way.
It's like a I'll say for the gag, it's like a how many children are there? Wait a second.
There
One,
is at
two.
least 7
Okay.
that I can remember.
I'll say it's like a 12. It's like a
12 pack. Well, it's an 11 pack because, you know, Thiefy McGee over there snuck themselves a quick sip.
yeah, it's an 11 pack.
Cool. She looks down at this pack and then she just slowly reaches up to the front of her apple headdress, pulls it out, shoves it up, closes it with a whip, and then she looks at the apple juice in your hands. And I'm gonna make a thing. I believe it's a +6. Hmm. I'm trying to find out where the heck your martial die is, but it doesn't say on your sheet where your martial die is or what number your martial die is. But that's okay.
I think. I think it's. I haven't played monks. I think it's a D6. What level is she?
She's level 6.
Okay. I think it should be a D.
I'll do a quick check. But I will say, hey, does a
I think it's
22 beat your
D6.
armor class?
A what?
Does a 22 beat your armor class?
Oh, it super does.
Cool. That apple juice, you go up to take another sip, and she just smacks that shit out of your hands with a backhand. It's going flying back into the vault.
Uh,
Her face is still completely deadpan, by the way, all throughout this.
she's just. Oh. We're literally here to. If you're gonna get on me about stealing again, we are literally. That is literally the reason we're here.
She is turning around, and she is walking away. She is walking away. And she's not paying any attention. She rolled a 6 on her whiz save. She is not paying any attention to anything. She's not focusing on stealth. She is just walking away. Yeah. Look, she's having
I
a
think
time.
ULTRABRAIN. You hear a little bit more rustling behind you. Uh, as ULTRABRAIN runs, sort of not runs, he like trots to catch up with you. I'm guessing it's like a slow, dead to the world, just done like walk, just
Actually,
like I am one step in front of the other, and I am
actually,
leaving, and I
it's
am walking. It's
hmm. It's not actually like that. It's more. I guess the word would be. I want to say militant, but that's not quite it. It
yeah,
is
sort of like that business like.
determined stride, as if they are
Yeah.
focusing on this thing and that is it. They are not thinking about anything else but exiting the building.
Okay, in that case, as you get to the top of the stairs in the next landing, ULTRABRAIN is just rounding the corner at the bottom of the stairs. What are you doing? I'm
Um,
guessing she's not. Is she opening the door? She's not paying attention. She's
let's
not focusing on
roll
stealth. She's focusing
a.
on leaving. Is she opening the door?
I'm just gonna roll a quick whiz check to see if she will. What's your wisdom? +4. Let's see. I should know this by now. That's a dirty 20. It's like she's going down to put her hands on the door and she stops. And then she turns back. She's not looking at Zem, but she stands back with her hand tight tight fist clenched by her side, looking across at the opposite wall of the staircase, waiting for Zem. They're not doing anything.
Uh, Xi is Xi is Hop is sort of like not running but like quick up the stairs. There's a under one arm is one of the wooden crates just full of juice boxes. As Xi unholsters Xer gun and shoots the lock again and holsters it and opens the door and it's like, it was mental actually, but good catch. Uh, and just holds the door open for her. And as you open the door,
Jeez. gonna look down at the sleeping person on the desk, and then she's gonna look back at Ultra Brain, and then down at the crates, or the single crate that Z's carrying, and then she's gonna. I'm gonna have to roll another hammer space because yeah, she reaches back underneath her big apple head, and then she pauses, and then she. Thump! Actually, no, she doesn't pause. She pulls out the 11 pack of apple juice, looks at it, kind of twists it to the side, and I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make him roll D2. One for yes, two for no.
No.
Okay. She sighs quietly and just plonks it very gently on the desk because she did roll an at 20 on her whiz save now. And then I'm gonna roll. Actually, no, I'm not gonna roll for this. She's gonna put both hands on the side of her head, and unless you say otherwise, she's just gonna pop that off, and then just slowly pop the apple over the top of the apple juice case. And then she's gonna look back at the bars on the window and she's just gonna fucking sigh, make her way over, and she's just gonna head out. She's gonna head out, man.
Yeah. Ultra Brain also, as soon as she hops down, Ultra Brain's hopping through as well, taking Zura an extra little second to pull down the crate. It's like a little crate behind her.
Yeah.
Because he absolutely has some in hammer space, by the way. This is just extra.
Absolutely. The crate's just for show. The crate's for superiority.
Yeah. And Z falls into step, kind of like to the side behind of Nanny. Just like, well, I'd say that was pretty successful. Come on. And trots in front of her a little bit. Is Nanny going to follow?
Nanny, when she took the apple head off, she has her normal hat on underneath. She didn't take that off. She's just gonna take a deep breath, let it go, and quietly follow behind.
Yeah. Ultra Brain seems to know where they're going this time. Xi is sort of walking with a little bit more purpose through the streets, heading towards the waterfront, not near where the boathouse is. Relax, but more towards the waterfront, and the waterfront district. You can't see the water yet, and Xi leads her into an alleyway, and there's some fire escape stairs, ladder that Xi starts climbing, and is up on the first landing, leans down. Come on. You coming?
She doesn't look at Zem at all, and she just follows, seemingly just kind of absent-mindedly going.
Cool. You get to the top of this building, and you are greeted with a very lovely sight, actually. It is sort of one of the highest buildings near the edge of the waterfront. It's not directly on the water. There's still a few shorter buildings below. It's a nice flat roof. And the moon and stars are out in tunishly lovely fashion. They twinkle against the quietly rippling waters. You can hear the tide slap in and out gently, and there's a couple of dark boats moored or floating out on this nice, pretty peaceful, lovely night. and cause he's sitting by the edge, or is walking towards the edge, to go sit down.
She walks over and she doesn't walk all the way to the edge. She stands about 5 foot behind Zem, and she doesn't sit down, and she doesn't say anything.
Oh, come on, have a seat. Nice view, isn't it?
She just looks down at presumably the point that they have padded at, and takes another deep breath, walks over, and just flings their feet out and thumps onto their rear. And she's gonna brace her elbows on her knees and hold her face in her hands as she kind of listlessly just gazes out over this view.
Z is poking a straw into another box of juice, and offers it to her as Z's grabbing another one from the crate.
She just, the hand closest just kind of lifts off briefly and waves a couple times in their direction, kind of like a shoo, no thank you motion, and plumps back onto her face.
It's the regular apple one. I'm pretty sure the lighting's not great.
Just gonna sit quiet for a bit, and then she's just gonna
Come on, you deal with children all the time. They love these things, right?
I don't want none of that. Thank you.
Suit yourself. ULTRABRAIN kicks back. Crosses one leg over the other, feet dangling over the edge. Just, yeah. Regular apple juice this time, because it's the one that Z offered to Nanny. No fun zing. Ugh.
She's no fun.
No
She's no
fun.
fun. Oh, Nanny, why aren't you fun? But yeah, I'm gonna roll something actually for her. You can roll. I look at your I look at your.
You look at my modifier. I know. But Z is gonna roll insight. Oh, blah.
Oh, buddy.
It's a
Roll
3.
again if you want.
I'll see if the dice
They
gods will be
not hold
nice. 17. There we go.
Baby. You kind of don't notice anything at first because you are enjoying this regular apple juice, looking at the view. This is post-heist tradition, baby. This is what you do.
Post-heist high.
Hell yeah. And then you kind of glance over, and Nanny seems to be kind of sulking, which, fine, goody two shoes. It's kind of what you expected. And you look away, and you glance back over, and you see that this doesn't seem to be sulking. Not quite, because if you're sulking, you're pouty, you're kind of just kicky leggy kind of deal. There's some more movement usually in the sulking to be like draw attention to it. She is very still, and her eyes are gazing across the waterfront and past it, and just she doesn't look like she's sulking about this. She looks, it's kind of weird, but she looks, you want to think resigned, but it's not quite that. It's like resignation, but it's just that it doesn't hit quite right, but it's the closest word you've got for what you see there.
Does she look like she's disassociating?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, with a 17, There's probably a slight suspicion that that might be an option, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
know this woman well enough to
Yeah.
tell if that's what this is.
Mm-hmm. Um. Hmm. Xee finishes taking another slurp out of the juice box. Like, so you allergic to apples or what?
You
Are you
don't.
secretly a doctor? Are you a doctor instead of a goody two shoes? Some doctors are goody two shoes.
I'm not a doctor.
They tend to be allergic.
I
Okay.
ain't.
Oh, she speaks.
I hope you enjoyed tonight. I really,
Oh,
really do. Cause she just kind of sighs and tilts her head further down in her hand. And she leans her weight onto one of her hands and holds out the other hand in your direction and just kind of makes a grabbing motion and says, she's not looking, she just grabs and says, "Now, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like my part of the deal. A deal's a deal, after all."
Oh, right. Yes. 1 second. Let me roll.
I'm gonna try and roll something actually, just in case. Okay.
Ah, it's not a fumble. I was hoping for a fumble.
I pat you.
It's not a fumble.
Hmm.
Unfortunate.
Okay.
Xee pulls the knife out of their coat with a flourish, gives it a little twirl, um, and hands it handle side uh, towards Nanny and says, "Never let it be said, I'm not a villain of my word."
And she doesn't look, she just takes the knife with her hand, pulls it towards her face, and you see her eyes just slide away from the landscape to the knife, look it over. She's kind
It
of
is the
looking.
knife.
It is the knife.
It is the knife.
She nods and she sticks that under her hat. Up it goes, poof and gone. And
It is her knife. It's actually, actually,
hmm,
it actually might still be a little crusty. I don't know if Z cleaned it off.
uh, well, if it is, she doesn't notice. She doesn't seem to notice.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to care. She just sticks it under her hat and nods and says, "Well, I should hope that you're a villain of your word. I'd hate if you were. I'd hate it if you weren't. It would make things real difficult for me."
Difficult how?
That ain't
More
your
difficult.
concern.
I know that.
And she kind of looks down again. Uh, from where she was looking at the knife, she kind of looks down at her brightly coloured go-go trousers and then to her psychedelic shirt
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of plucks at them with one of her midden hands and just, "You're so sure that you're a villain. You're so sure that you're the biggest, baddest thing around, but I hate to be the one to have to tell you this, but you really ain't. You really ain't. You ain't peas or sweet corn compared to some things out there.
Oh, I know. Why do you think I do it?
You don't. Evil ain't no game. Evil ain't something to play around and have fun with. Evil is evil. And maybe I'm not the person to try and convince you of that. Maybe you'll never be convinced of that. And I'll just have to accept your choices. But letting, I ain't, I ain't letting, I ain't letting no one track me down into something like that. And she stands up abruptly, brushes off the go-go trousers and the shirt, and glares down at you. You hear me? I am not. I refuse to become anything like a villain. Do you understand me?
There has been a very not even not even as a little riled up as you are.
Mm.
um uh Ultra Brain shifts for she wouldn't know this, but Ultra Brain shifts into overlord mode basically.
Mm.
um there's no more sort of that posturing amusement. Z's giving her a very calculated level look. Um
And she looks right back, boldly, directly
mhm
in their eyes. She's. I mean, you. I'm not gonna have you roll insight for this. Um, she means every damn word she's telling you. She is. She did this for. She did this for Foggy.
mhm
She is in no way, shape, or form. She does genuinely hope you had fun tonight because that's all
oh
you're getting.
uh-huh oh that's all I I love this. This is great. Yeah, that's all Z wanted. Hmm, Z uh uh swirls the juice box.
God.
doesn't take another but doesn't take another sip. Um Z says, you don't need to convince me of anything. But if you want to be good, you can't do that with all you can't do that by denying your capabilities. You're doing a disservice to you and your kids if you pretend like you can't do there's nothing bad that you could do.
You just sort of. You kind of hear her start to giggle and then give like an unhinged kind. It's an unhinged little laughter as she tries to cover her mouth and just. You think I don't know what I'm capable of? You think I don't know what. Oh, goodness. It's precisely because I know what I'm capable of that I don't want my kids ever, ever thinking that I could do something like this. Do you understand me? I'm well aware of my own capabilities. And yes, perhaps I hope sometimes too much for someone that has a chance to be good, to to do good with themselves, to see what they can do and do it, and choose that, to make that choice. But you, she shakes her head. I'm not saying I'm giving up per se. Again, I've seen I've seen true evil. I've seen true evil, and you ain't it. But I can see you're as stubborn as a mule's ass. And, well, something tells me that this is gonna be one of them long games if we choose to go down this path. And I don't know if I've got the energy for that right now.
I don't suggest you try.
She nods and says, well,
By
well,
lying to your kids about what you're capable of, they already know. They all saw you, and while I believe me, I do see the humor in uh, you adamantly refusing to believe one of the times I am telling the truth. But they did all see you knock me out and throw me down 2 stories of scaffolding. You're doing them a disservice if you don't let them know that there is no such thing as a fully good person. Everyone's got the capacity to do both, and if you try to convince yourself otherwise or convince other people otherwise, and Z just sort of pokes uh, like at her uh, with the hand holding the juice box. That is ripe. That is a ripe uh, uh, that is fertile ground for true evil to sprout.
Um, as you keep talking, you see her get tenser and tenser, and her fists clench tighter, and her teeth start to grit, and she shakes her head, and she's, I, I don't ever remember laying a hand on you, except earlier, but that was more so on the box because you were being, well, she gestures one hand up and down, yourself, I suppose.
Ultra brain. I was being ultra brain.
Yes, yes, you were being ultra brain. And I, she seems to take a moment to think about something, and she looks back over
You,
at the waterfront.
mhm.
I don't want my kids to be perfect paragons of good. I wouldn't put them on that pedestal. I wouldn't put that pressure on them. I want them to lead I want them to lead the happiest lives they can. But I'm trying my darndest to keep them out of trouble. And you can roll an insight with advantage on that.
Alrighty.
Because I am not letting Ultra Brain fail this. Come on, buddy.
Actually, come on now.
Please.
You can also just give it to me if
Yeah,
you
I
don't
look
want
away
me to
from the
lose it.
dice. I look away from the dice. Ultra Brain.
Look away from the dice.
Dice tossing means nothing.
She doesn't know. I mean, it she's a complicated person.
That's a word.
But yeah, uh, yeah, not like an altar sort of thing, but
Mm,
Ultra Brain is more in overlord mode right now.
mm.
She doesn't know that, but yeah.
Oh no, she has no idea.
Um, she's talking to the overlord.
Mm. And as the Overlord looks at this strange woman, this nanny with her many, many children's in charges she's taken care of, this woman who initially approached you and was so polite and nice and kind, and you see her clench her fists as she says, keep them out of trouble, and you get the feeling there's something in that. You don't know
Mhm.
what, but there's something.
Hmm.
Just a little, just something twigs you. Perhaps it's your
Hmm.
villainous instincts that cling
Oh yeah,
onto
I know.
that.
I know what twigs are.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. I think Z just says that why you thought the bank was a front.
She just kind of blinks and looks down like, excuse me?
You're worried about the bank being a front earlier.
Well, it was awfully convenient that you picked out that silly little costume. And she kind of clenches her fist and grits her teeth again. It's real funny that you picked out that funny little costume for me to go running around in, that silly little hat of yours, only for us to go down to the vault and apples? Really? What? Why on earth? Why would that? How is that not a setup? How would you conveniently happen to choose an apple shaped hat and then send me down to go and rob ourselves some apples? That feels like
You're robbing a juice bank.
She blinks. A juice bank? What?
Yes. That's. We're robbing a juice bank, honey. We robbed a juice bank, honey. It's like, I wanted juice. Glorp's is closed. I cut out the middleman.
She lifts her hand up to her brow, and her mittened hand is just rubbing at her brow. Her eyes and her brows are knit together, and her eyes are squint shut, and she's just.
You thought it was a front before we got to the vault, though.
Oh, and it just so happens I was wearing an apple hat to a juice bank then.
Yes, because I knew we were robbing a juice bank.
Oh, you awful
Because I
little
wanted
cretin.
juice.
You are an awful little cretin, you know that.
I do. I worked very hard at it. Thank you.
I can tell now. She just shakes her head and says, "You didn't even want the money. He, I don't even know what was in there. I saw you come out with a crate of juice, but I didn't get a
It
good
was mostly juice.
Mostly juice. Was there money in there? Valuables?
A little bit.
You didn't take none of it? Not a single penny? Not a copper? Not a gold? Not a silver?"
Oh, just juice. She takes another ship.
At this point, she's just tugging on one of the locks of her hair, and her eyes are wide. She's looking at you. It's just, I don't understand. I do not understand you. You call yourself evil, and then you rob a juice bank just for juice. She's tugging a little hard on her hair, and her eyes are kind of.
Do you want to roll? Do you want to roll insight? Yeah,
Yeah.
keep having your breakdown.
Oh no, she's absolutely having her breakdown. She's having a fucking time. Congratulations, ULTRABRAIN. Look what you've done. You've broken her. This is 22.
Oh, nice. 22. Hmm. How to put this into words? I'll uh I'll lay some things out for you. First is I think with a 22,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely 100% clock the total demeanor shift that Z had since you're putting on. And also uh the way Z said that they were being ULTRABRAIN earlier. And,
I did clock that. She did not.
yeah. Um, you know, the way that Z's you know, a lot of what most of what the night was Xur intentionally poking and prodding and getting a rise out of you, keeping you focused on Xur and engaged, and how um, performative, almost theatrical, Z could be sometimes, and contrast all that with how Z is now, and saying that you know she doesn't need to be convinced that um you know that there's worse evil, and that Z is you know Z did not seem offended or taken aback or aghast when you said that Z, you know, that Z wasn't the worst, wasn't, you know, terribly evil, and all that. Z just very, very sort of contemplative, more contemplative, sort of more of a calculating sort of air right now.
Hmm.
Almost as if, um, you know, ultra brain villainy, how Xia's described it, putting a lot of effort towards it, making it a career, um, is sort of intentionally taking up that space. Perhaps, um, and if X's the one there can't be anyone else.
Hmm. Chad. Chad? Trad.
Yeah,
I'm just
Chad.
handsing at you so fucking much, and I also want to shake you by your shoulders, but also I want to shake your
Yeah.
hand. God damn it. God
Uh
damn
huh.
you. God damn you.
Uh huh.
She's just gonna take this all in, and her eyes slowly kind of go back to their normal state from their wide-eyed, manic, tiny pupil state, and she stops tugging on her hair. It slows down, and then she's just gripping her hair, and then the grip just slides, and her hand drops kind of limply to her side as looks at uh she looks at Ultra Brain and just
The Overlord
the Overlord. My
offers
apologies.
her another juice box.
She looks down at it. She takes a breath. She lets it go, and she will begrudgingly kind of trudge over, flop back down next to the Overlord, and take one of the boxes and say, "You know what? It's been a very long night for me. I'm gonna allow myself just the one. Ain't nothing else."
It's literally juice.
I know it's juice, but it's stolen goods. Um, I've got a quick question. How far away are we from the river?
Um, I'd say a good maybe I don't know, what's a couple buildings? Uh maybe about 200 feet or so.
Okay,
We're not directly on the river. We've just got
okay,
a really good view of it.
fair enough. She can't do what she wanted to do then. Um,
And we can be closer to the river if you want something.
I mean, I was, hmm, I was gonna try and roll a grapple just to see how that goes.
Mhm.
Um, and then I was gonna try and yeet the Overlord into the river.
Uh
Because technically, she's
we
not causing you any harm. She's just throwing you into the dunk.
yeah, um even if we were directly on the river,
Yeah,
we are like
high up.
4 stories up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. She
Uh-huh.
resists the urge. She looks sadly out towards the riverfront and just sighs. And oh, she takes the juice begrudgingly, pops uh pops the straw in, and just shoots you a glare from the corner of her eye as she takes a sip. It's really good juice. Do you want me to roll d4?
Uh I've been debating this whole time if she just picked one out of the crate and didn't take the one Ultra Brain handed to her,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
roll a
She took the one
d4.
Ultra Brain gave her.
Yeah, the Overlord would have given her just juice.
Thanks, Overlord. Uh,
Yeah.
no surprise aptly today. Um,
No surprise aptly today.
she takes the juice, gives a very angry. She slurps and glares defiantly over the river, and she does start to slowly kick her legs, just kind of like up and down a little
Mhm.
bit. Um, as they dangle over the edge, and she looks out.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, unless there's anything else you wanted to cover, Trad, like that could be a good fade out spot. But if there is anything else, I am more than happy to do a level up or another little chat.
Hmm. Uh, hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
The only thing that uh the Overlord would really say, because it's
Hmm.
really the only thing, is that would be something along the lines of like, you know, because she was talking about how she wouldn't, put it upon any of the kids to be like, the paradigm of,
Hmm.
good or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, Z's just very big on that like the illusion of like perfect good and how Nanny is trying to uphold that for the kids. Um cuz that's not going objectively speaking, that is not going to last because
Hmm.
Nanny is not a perfect flawless being.
Oh no, she's
and
not.
also and also they legit watched her deck a guy. um
I will say she legitimately does not remember that.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like there there's like not remembering, but also like the refusing to admit
Hmm.
that it happened, sort of thing.
Mm.
Um, and the Overlord tends to be more involved with people.
Yeah.
um,
I hadn't noticed.
yeah, yeah. I think Z would say, like open ended, not trying to, um, uh, not trying to like provoke or start a conversation, more just like for thought. If she wants to keep talking, then
Mm.
Z isn't gonna shut her down. Um, but wording. Um, I think what Z'll say is trying to set up yourself as the kid's hero. It'd be best to kill that hero on your own terms instead of having it betray them further down the line.
Uh, you hear the slurping of the juice box stop very quickly and feel it slowly get tonked onto the ground. And her hands kind of clasp each other around the thumbs, looks out. I don't claim to be no hero to those kids. I did what I had to do. I I did my best for them whilst I could, and then I moved on. Heroes don't leave you behind. And I ain't no hero. And as much as I'd love to be somebody those kids look up to, I am someone those kids look up to. I can't fail them. You understand? I understand they need to know that they can have their bad moments. Of course, they can have they're people. They're not perfect. No one's perfect. There ain't no such thing as a perfect person. If you think there is, you're probably one of them evil hoo-haws who think they can be, I don't know, the next new deity or something. But they think I'm a hero. I guess I'll have to have a little chat with them, see what I can do about that. But
They followed you across the continents when they heard you were missing. Like it or not, whether or not you have intentionally tried to set yourself up as such, they've all put you on a pedestal.
she kind of twitches at that and just looks down at where her feet are dangling downwards over the side of this building.
And don't underestimate how much of an impact you can make in a short time.
Oh, I'm well aware of how much impact someone can leave. I was I wasn't meant to. She kind of looks away, sighs, and says, I wasn't meant to be a permanent thing. I meant to stop by, help them as best I can, and then leave. A kind stranger kind of deal, you know? I wasn't meant to be. I'm not. I'm
You're
a
not a
nanny.
live-in nanny.
Exactly. I'm a nanny. I come along and I help as best I can and then I move on. I'm no. I'm not no. I'm no permanent. I don't know how this happened. And she just seems to be pausing over her words and starting again and pausing, starting again. And she shakes her head and says, and I understand that you think being held up as a hero. I don't understand what you mean by that betrayal part. Because I ain't never going to betray those kids. Ain't never. Unless you mean unintentionally. But, well, that's going to happen. That's going to happen with just people in general. People hurt each other in general and don't mean it. That's going to happen. That's a part of life. And I think
They need to know. They need to know what to do when it comes from you.
she kind of stops and turns away and
Again, from
how
my understanding, you were running around in a fugue state for almost a year.
At that she kind of winces and reaches up and rubs the side of her head and just shakes her head slowly. Is like, I don't I don't quite remember everything that happened, but I I just I
It
just
doesn't matter. They remember.
hmm,
They were out actively looking for you for that whole time. Up
as
to and including the point when you knocked me out and hit me off a bridge.
she does absentmindedly say, I never did. I would never do something. I wouldn't do that, even with whatever. I wouldn't. But you see her kind of
That,
tilt her
yeah.
head.
Uh, the Overlord just says, and that is what will do them in. Not about referring to like her behavior,
Mm,
like her continued denial.
mm. She just kind of
If
pauses and then pulls
if you
back.
don't know what to do with yourself when you do something that you wouldn't like yourself to do, how are the kids going to know what to do?
Let me
How
roll
are
some.
they going to know how to handle it?
Cool, cool. Okay,
Whoa, it's a
that's
23.
a lovely whiz save there. Thank you. Um, she kind of
Probably
sits
helps
up.
that C isn't actually trying to push any buttons.
True. She just kind of sits up straighter and looks out and looks across the landscape. Very pretty right now. And just, I, I can only do what I keep doing, and I can only try my best, as best as I can by those kids, and in everything I do. And everything I do is for those kids. So I appreciate the advice, but I will figure things out as I go. Most likely. Again, I'm a nanny, not a never been a proper parent
Mother.
before. Or no, or a mother. I don't think I've been a mother. Ah, jeez. She rubs her head. I don't know, but uh, I'll take your advice under consideration, and all I can do is my best, and that's what I'll try and do.
Hmm.
And I'm sure you'll try your best to be as big and bad and mean and evil as you can be.
C flashes you a smile that's mostly teeth, that glints in the moonlight. Uh, from Xer. Xer perch
Mm-hmm.
next to you on the roof.
Mm-hmm. And she stares back, unafraid. She meets your eyes. The steely glint of your teeth kind of reflects off the steely glint in her eyes.
The Overlord holds up Xerjuice box and like a little for a little tap toast.
Mm. She looks down at what she puts her juice box down, picks it up, gives it a little shake, like puts it up to where her ears would be and just gives it a little shake, and there's just like a slight little rattle of just about some juice left. And she nods and looks over and says, bad luck to toast on an empty chalice. And she holds it up and just so what's this toast for then, huh?
Well, for being the best. For being our I think she says for being our best. And Z like dunks the little cardboard box against the other little cardboard box.
The other little cardboard
with
box.
Like a little twist of the wrist, like a little tap, not like a bump.
Yeah.
Very important difference.
Yes. You get a little tap back, and for the first time this evening, Nanny shoots the Overlord. It's very quick, but you can catch it. A quick flash of a grin before it disappears back, and she nods and says, to being our best and persevering, I suppose. And she's gonna pour her juice back to her mouth and give it the long slurp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ultra Brain yeah, I think Z's slipping back now. Ultra Brain crushes their empty juice box in her hand and just drops it over the edge of the building.
You hear Nanny just gasp and just go, don't you start littering, honestly. You got all this big bad evil stuff you could do and you just litter? Come on, that's baby stuff. And she's just gonna get up and dust herself down and kind of look over the edge to try and see if she can... I'm gonna roll for perception. Can she see where this has dropped? Oh, I have had an idea.
Well,
hey.
Idea.
So someone comes out of a door a little further down the street, and they have a little cast wrapped around their head.
Yes!
And someone just says, now you be careful out there, like it's toons can be quite dangerous. You've got to make sure you always look up. And this person laughs and rubs the back of their head and says, yeah, of course, I'll do my best. Always look up, bye bye now. And shuts the door. It's the door to a doctor's office, by the way. They're taking in late night patients. This person nods, turns around, heads out of the door, turns down the street, goes a couple of blocks. Here's a huh? Looks up. Completely knocked out by this juice box. And they fall to the ground in a crumple. And Nanny sees this and just claps her hand over her mouth and scuttles away from the edge, completely alarmed. And she just looks over at ULTRABRAIN and just, that one was on you. There's no question. That one was on you. And she just gets up. Scurries away.
Hold up, I need to rescue Minion.
No, I don't think Minion needs no rescuing. I'm sure Minion will be fine. I trust Minion with the kids.
I never said I didn't trust them.
Oh, of course you trust them. They're your partner in crime. Of course you trust them. She's
I think this we're back to the banter as and like the clatter of fire escape
Yes,
as the two of them make their way down
yes. And then we
to
cut
flee the
away.
scene of the crime.
And we slowly cut back over the top of the building rooftop and then slowly peek over the edge at the crumpled figure down below holding their head like, oh, not again. And about
We
5.
pan up to the lovely view
Yeah.
and fade out into the stars.
Yes. With a, oh my gosh, this was so excellent. Trad, I shake you. Oh, it was so good.
Your moment of realization. I was waiting for it the whole time.
I just, I could kind of feel it coming. I didn't realize until we got down to the bank. I was just, oh.
Contra wanted to knock Ultra Brain out, or else I would have subjected the child to this.
Put Contra in a gosh dang apple suit. I dare you. But oh my gosh, Trad, this was fantastic, dude. This was
so
good.
good. I'm so glad, like, Roof worked out. That was delightful.
Yeah, gosh, this was excellent. Thank you so much for playing with me. Man, gosh. These two.
Thank you for playing with me.
I hold up these two and I'm just, what do we do with them? But yeah,
I think they've both taken opposite approaches to similar
problems. Yeah,
problems.
yeah.
But yeah. So let's wrap up the recording because we are still recording.
We are still
Lovely.
recording. We've been recording.
We are still recording.
Thank you.
We've been recording for about 3.5 hours now.
Okay,
If you've
yeah, we
listened
gotta
all the
wrap
way
up.
through, you are a trooper. What are you still doing here?
Me? I'm sitting here talking with a cool person called Trad. I don't know what you're doing here. But anyway, I guess we should sign off. Thank you everyone for listening to this in the future. This was a damn delight. Thank you, Trad, for making that whole map and scenario. And I'm shaking you by your collar. And also by the ruff of your little bare neck. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Anything you wanna say, Trad?
You're a delight. I love your improv as always.
Thank you.
You need to figure out. We need to figure out because Ultra Brain is absolutely no. I think Ultra Brain names the octopus Macintosh because it's another type of apple.
Oh. God. Excellent.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you all for listening. If you listened, thank you so much for playing. Your delight as always.
Thank you so much for playing with me. You're fantastic.
Yeah, get up, self-care, drink some water, go around, do a stretch. James Baxter, if you're listening, I hope you enjoyed yourself and you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much, and farewell.
Farewell, everyone. Thank you, and good morrow.
Good time.